truth will set you free. Sorry, Laura. I think that was a little too loud. Ready? Oh, plug it into anyone that's not muted. Anyone of the
Blue Collar Politics. Press
Right
9 for the truth.
Welcome to Blue Collar Politics. This is Thomas Fry. I am your host for this evening, and we have a very special guest. I think you will enjoy listening to it. And we have the Master Odin in the Blue Collar Politics studio to help me out with some color commentary as you see him on your screen. We have Laura Eisenhower with us tonight. And I got to get one window open. Are you okay on the sound, Laura?
Yep, I am.
Okay. I kind of messed up the beginning a little bit, but I have a tendency to do that every once in a while. I'm trying to get my chat room open here. We'll take off. And I love American history desperately. I have been studying it for years. I like everything that we have done. You know, if you realize, technically this country is just over 200 years old, but we have been on this land for almost 400 years now. We are now a country. Can't you plug it in?
It's not coming on.
Plug it in another one then. Back up. Sorry, we have a slight technical issue. I gotta get. All right, can you hear it now?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, we got him set. We got his headset on and working. I had to turn this. It's a little. Forget it. It's just technical. Let's have some fun tonight with the conversation. I love American history, and having Laura Eisenhower on with she is the family member of our wonderful president and one of the best presidents I think this country has ever had.
I will agree, totally. But no, I gotta say one thing. Laura, if people really want to know who she is, you're gonna hear it tonight. This is gonna be a kinder side of life. Laura is gonna express and be Laura. And that's the beautiful thing. Because Laura is Laura every day of the week. And I'm glad you people are listening. Laura Eisenhower, you know, sis, I love you.
I think this.
I love you too,
I
Daryl.
will agree.
And it's great to be on the show and to meet you. What's your full name?
Thomas Fry.
My name is Thomas Andrew Joseph Fry.
Oh, okay, good. Just to have that. So
And
we're meeting for the first time. Yeah. So it's great to be here. And yeah, Daryl and I go way back.
Yeah, way back. That's a good way of putting it. But she is not only just a wonderful woman, but I'm going to say something about Laura. And this is something that I will say any day of the week. She is honest. So any of you doubters out there, you come through me first, okay? I'm just going to say she's 100% real, true blue, and there's nothing else anyone needs to say about her. Honest. So any of you doubters out there.
Okay, sorry about that. I was turning on all the chat rooms. That way, if we got any questions, and I normally have that before, but like I was telling Laura right before we went on the air, me and Odin have been spending a lot of time at one of my clients putting in a security system. This gentleman has been attacked by his daughters have been each attacked and had a gun pointed at them and was attacked in their home. So he is tired of it, and he came to CKC Security Consultants. That is my company, and we have been working 10 hours a day putting in this huge security system for this gentleman. So I apologize if we're not perfect at the beginning here. We will get woken and right into this system. But, man, we've already done 10 hours today, so and we're cut us a little slack.
We're not pooped. We're just getting ourselves adjusted to the sitting down environment.
Yeah, we get to sit down and talk now rather than climbing ladders. And me, I tell you what, I have wheeled about 3 miles today in my wheelchair, and it has been raining cats and dogs. But let's get back to what we were talking about. We were talking about our children. So I didn't get a chance, and maybe I talked too much. I apologize, Laura. Let's give my listeners a quick rundown of who you are.
Well, gosh, I don't even know what to say to that sometimes. But yes, I am great-granddaughter of President Eisenhower, so that was very catalytic all throughout my life, just kind of tapping into larger picture stuff. It just sort of pulls you into a much larger picture, just knowing that a family member just was just in a pivotal time in history. And I've always delved into the hidden layers that we don't hear about. I've been researching, ufology, exopolitics, ET government treaties, and also things related to our galactic history for many years. And I also have my own a lot of my own inner soul work. My background's in wilderness education, and just really was able to find my own ability to hear my own thoughts. And I connected back to a lot of things that came to me as a child, because I was very clear with what my mission was. But then, school systems and kind of looking around, just like, what the heck's going on in this world? And I was very sensitive to the programming and just really feeling like something's really wrong here. And so, yeah, I don't know. I've just been now an international speaker. I started traveling and speaking in 2010. I was recruited to go off planet in 2006, and so helped me to connect a lot of dots with what we're dealing with in the world, what's playing out on the world stage, what's hidden behind the scenes, and what our greater potential is if we can just give ourselves the chance to expand into way more of who we are and begin to recapture that which was stolen and taken. History's been wiped. We don't get a lot of an education about anything. In terms of our galactic history, we have a lot of dead scientists that are teaching us that our DNA is junk. We're just told what to think and what to do, and we're very indoctrinated from the time of childhood. So been trying to unravel it all and just help empower people. And so I utilize medical astrology as a tool to help kind of switch the lights on, because we're all unique. And we all have our own sort of way of being, but we're all in this oneness too, and in this unity. And so, I like to just encourage that we appreciate diversity and we create harmony amongst each other, and come into a greater, sense of peace and camaraderie, especially during these really intense times that we're in.
Okay, that is a lot. That is you are an amazing woman. You hit all those subjects. Me and my daughter have had a special relationship all my life, and it'll play right into what you were talking about. We have been able to communicate without using a phone, and it started off when she was young. So we're talking, this was 20 years ago that we were able to communicate without using a phone. I know where she is, how she's feeling. If she gets a cut, I can tell her. I would call her, and I'm like, "Are you all right?" And she goes, "How'd you know I fell down and cut myself?" And I'm like, "I felt your pain." And the human body is capable of so much, and we have been so suppressed throughout our lives on our ability. We use less than 10% of our brain. The government has the knowledge to be able to open our minds up, to be able to see our universe and our existence as it is, and they are blocking that. And that angers me, and it should anger you. And this government is hiding so much. I have videotape, which I was going to show tonight, and then I got this wonderful interview with Laura. She came on Blue Collar Politics to talk about life. And we were talking the other day about the politics in the name. It's not the politics like the politicians in Washington. Yes, I understand how they lie, and I translate it for people. But they are hiding an entire existence. We could go anywhere on any planet and communicate across thousands of miles without using a phone, and that ability has been hidden and taken away from us. And it is a mind control system, and it irks me like you would not believe. Can we go a little deeper into the UFO? And I've done a lot of research on my own before I even got into radio, so I know what's out there. I know what they're hiding. I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I love America, but I dislike our government right now because they forgot that our government is by the people and for the people. Right now, it is screw the people, and we keeping all this on ourselves. And Laura, do you think we will ever have an honest, true disclosure from our government?
They're certainly trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And there's so much that people know that need to kind of get to the president. I mean, who knows how much Trump knows? I mean,
right.
So is he the disclosure president? I would say, I mean, that's where it gets tricky because everybody thinks it's political, and I'm not a person to join, sides so much, but I appreciate political conversations because we have to take it to a whole other level, and not have this battle between the right and the left. It's like it's truth or tyranny. And so who's the president? Where can we begin to open up the gateways to change the governmental structure, like you and I were talking about earlier? And how can disclosure come about in order to facilitate that? Because once all the pieces are out on the table and we understand, the mind control, how government has fallen into this pit of dysfunction because of the cabal and the deep state and all the shadow elements behind it. That disclosure is going to reveal, the hybrid races and the negative groups that they've been working with. And the disclosure also has to help us to understand the hidden technologies that could really help us versus the dangerous technologies that have been compromising us, like weather weaponry and just like how they want to change our food and the vaccination programs and all these different things that keep us, in enslavement. So disclosure has to be, disclosure is going to shatter everything. So I think the people need to bring about disclosure, and there needs to be those close enough to the president to let him know like the severity of the situation. I don't know if he's got those kind of advisors around him. I would imagine that he would if there's white hats and there really is something going on there. As far as the Q thing, I feel better about people that connect with Q than not. But there is this whole projection that that's a psyops. So, I think we just need to have everything out on the table and have disclosure be, how can we have respectful conversations where everybody can debate and share their concerns without throwing each other under the bus and creating a battle out of it? Because the conquer and divide agendas that come through governments and the dark cabal that has funded both sides of war have taught us to be pit against each other. And many people have bought into that programming to such a degree that it's very hard to have any kind of disclosure without somebody feeling threatened by
Right.
Who might look bad, that they might have, like, it's hard to talk about Hillary Clinton and some of her crimes if you're a diehard Hillary Clinton fan and you just can't see it. So how are we going to have disclosure and learn how to get along is what we have to figure out first as a people, or else I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think we should wait. I'm not one of those people that go, we can't handle it. So there's soft disclosure that they've been doing. I mean, you can go on Netflix and there's tons and tons of documentaries. All the information's out there on the internet. But for the governments to begin to admit it, it has to be shared in a way that's not steering towards a narrative or alien takeover. Here's the disclosure: aliens are amongst us, and now and they've been running the governments, and now it's going to be more out in the open. I mean, we got to make sure that the disclosure that we're hearing is in service to humanity and not something that just allows everything to be out in the open, but it's continued tyranny. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And my whole point behind why I talk on the radio is to try to get across to the people that one vote counts. And the only way we are going to get to disclosure is if we make the government do it. They do not have the right to keep information, whether we can handle it or not. They do not have the right to keep this information. And we have technology right now that every car on the planet is unnecessary tomorrow. We have free energy ability that some of that has come out. And I've been trying to work up the money to buy the device. I forget the gentleman that has it. He's overseas. I think he's in England. And he sells a device for about $2,000. And you plug it into your electrical box, and then you unhook the city power, and you have free energy forever. This thing does not end. And I've seen it work. He literally can plug this thing in on a stage, which he has done, and shown that all the light bulbs, the refrigerator, the stove, everything can run. The gasoline, the fumes that come out of that car is damaging our atmosphere. Now, it's not global warming, people. It is global cooling right now. It is called the cycle of life. And we have people, or I guess you would call it alien friends, that have taken our government and personnel off the planet to see the damage that our government is forcing us to do and not allowing us to have the advantages of cold fusion. We do not have, they have it. It works perfect. They over in, where was it? Laura, you might know this. Was it China or Japan where they actually have a 10-foot working sun?
Oh, yeah.
You know which
Japan.
one I'm talking about?
I think it was Japan.
I think, right. And all this technology is already there. We already have friends that do not live on this planet, that come from other places in the universe. And we can handle it as a people, but in speaking to that, we have to get the conversation started. One of the things I've always said is science is wonderful, but science cannot exist without science fiction. You must talk about the idea, then you write the idea down, then you develop the idea. Now, when we're talking about disclosure, our alien friends, our alien enemies, we are forced, if you step off this earth and look back, the human race looks like a virus. It does not look like any of our friends that come. They are peaceful. They are not. As far as all the research I have not found that aliens are portrayed in the movies as they want to come in and take over the world. They have helped us from the beginning. And
They've always been both, benevolent and kind of parasitic. Have always been a part of our human history. They've always been here, and we hold genetics, so we're related.
yes. Do you have?
I didn't mean to interrupt, but yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. That's all.
I got a question. Now, Laura, why would you think it was just the government? I mean, there are quote-unquote agencies or outsource entities that we already know controls this government. You know, the influencers, as they call them, the cabal, if you want to say outside, or if not, you could say even the CIA. I mean, there are a lot of things that they know, have information regarding, and also, I hate to say this, but controls that even the president can't even access. Also, I mean, when you look at the world today, who's really in charge? Who's manipulating things outside of religion, religious institutions? I mean, that's the core of our indoctrination. They told us there's no such thing as magic, and we're not to see the truth sayers or the fortune tellers, or we're not supposed to mess with tarot. We're not supposed to look at the stars and chart our courses. That's religion. But if you go further back, all that was found in religion until, you know, they wanted us dumb.
Do you?
Yep, that's right.
We absolutely have been dumbed down, and I'm tired of it. I want my mind opened up. I want to be able to experience this universe as it is. I don't want to be. I feel like a rat in a cage.
You want to get out of the matrix.
Exactly. I want to see. Unhook my wires. I want to go. I'm telling you, I've seen what our country has done. I've seen these ships that we have built that do not use a jet engine. They do not. They use what is it called? The energy source.
Fusion.
No, not fusion. The oh my God, I can't think of it right now. What I've always said is, all right, if you take Stargate, with 0 point energy, that's what I was trying to say. With 0 point energy, we can go anywhere in the universe.
Very true.
Physically and mentally. But we can't get there without the conversation and without force. This government has spent 4 years on an infighting battle where the Democrats have done nothing but try to out Trump because they don't like him as a man. Excuse my language, but Trump is an asshole.
Hey.
But he is... Sorry.
While they're hiding the most horrific crimes against humanity, they're picking on, like, taking things he said out of context,
Yes.
finding any dirt they can possibly find, which is nothing compared to the heinous crimes that these others are responsible for.
Hillary Clinton, when they left office, they were broke. She became a senator. I know for a fact she stole $42 million. She took the money from the Russians to buy the property in Wyoming.
Secretary of State.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Secretary of State.
now she's worth $340 million, and she never worked a day in her life.
But hold on, make it even worse. No one ever said how much the Clinton library and trust is worth.
Oh my gosh! The crimes that they have committed and got away with.
They robbed Haiti.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the way the world is, though.
They got my brother killed in Benghazi. And
no flashbacks.
I know that even hurts to say.
And she laughed.
Yes.
She laughed in front of the Senate. Come on now. Where the veterans at? Where the American public at when they said, hold on, y'all all saw it? You saw her laugh? She laughed about it. But it was nonchalant. So y'all still Hillary Clinton fans. You still Obama fans. Okay, be a fan. But come on. In reality, when you look at the real picture that's in front of you, she laughed because somebody died. She laughed because they got killed. She laughed and stole the money and gave money to Iraq. Or was it Iran? Iran.
It was Iran. It was $3 billion
and took the heavy
in
water
cash.
to Russia, and she made all this money, and everything happened within a week.
Yeah, that was the first week she was Secretary of State. She became a millionaire.
Week's worth. And yes, but no one wants to talk about that. But I'm not going to go that way. I just want to know, because Laura, you know, I get kept up. Laura, I'm not joking. The man has the bottle here, okay? I got the bottle. Yeah.
Where's the? Oh, you got here. Give me that bottle.
Okay.
All right. You got to do it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new thing I got going on, everybody. I'm going to wine. I'm going to the world of wine. Thank you very much.
You need a cigar with that because
no.
you smoke a big old stogie with a glass of wine. That is a perfect evening. But we need to put this. Let's get back to the infighting. I want to get back to.
Why is there infighting, Laura? Why?
There's a lot of competing agendas and different control groups. This all stems back to a much deeper history that we don't know a whole lot about. I mean, it really started with the Lyran Wars, the Orion Wars, exploded planets sinking down into this lower density, and it's like all these lost civilizations and advanced civilizations. I mean, Lemuria was a highly advanced civilization, and there were holocausts. Atlantean cataclysms were really the entry point into just this this hidden group and their hybrids. But they're all kind of battling each other in a lot of ways. But some have formed alliances because they're all looking for the same goal to reach the same goal of some sort of new world order. And basically assimilating us into an AI transhumanism agenda where we could actually digress to the point where we become like the Greys. I mean, this has happened in other systems. And the infighting, as far as the more positive. I mean, there are forces that are working on our behalf that stand for human sovereignty and freedom, but it's so hard to know who's who because they can disguise themselves as light beings even. So I mean, the infighting is within the cabal and the families, and then those that exist outside of it that are people like us who are just trying to call it out and recognizing that there are positive groups that some of our leaders have helped establish. Eisenhower and Kennedy have worked to create a positive intel, but as far as like within these families, there are competing programs. One's the Black Sun program, and one is the Sons of Belial. And basically, they originate from a phantom matrix system, and it's based in satanic AI-infected entities. And so people would consider that like the devil, but it's like a collective. Like these dark groups, and it's not like really one person; it's a whole group of beings that are just, they through trauma-based mind control and other ways and breeding programs are trying to keep within these family lines individuals that are easily possessed and used as puppets and pawns. But there's a galactic war going on behind the scenes that has stepped down to the human sphere, and we're like the prize. We're what everybody is fighting for our DNA, for our loosh and our life force, so that they are continually pushing us into we're just being harvested constantly.
Do you believe that I firmly believe that our DNA has every bit of history written into it? I want to comment on three things that you said, and in one of them it brings to mind they have classified the pyramids as built by the Egyptians, which we all know has been proven not to be true. That was there long before they ever existed, just like everything in South America. There was a multi-million population that lived in South America back when the Atlanteans were in the Atlantic Ocean. We were flying all over, didn't need cars. And then what I don't understand that I want to know is, why is that history been taken away from us? Is it because they were more intelligent than we are now? Was it because they built us as slaves and that's all they want?
I'm going to say it. I'll tell you before Laura says it. You know why that history was erased?
Tell me.
Because we gave you religion.
But religion is fake.
Religion is not fake. You know why? Because from the moment you're born to the moment you die, what is the worst words you say? Oh God, oh thank you Jesus, oh all this. Everything is given a name. They gave you, listen, when you were born, you were given a name. And guess what else we were given? A social security number. We can track you now.
Yeah.
So now, let's keep going. Before came out with your social security number, you were just an identity. But you were either part of a class system.
So where would a person, even though we're stuck in this matrix, how does a person get themselves, how do you get unplugged? That's what the information that I have been searching for, so I can tell my listeners how to get unplugged from this bullshit existence that has been faked and dumbed down. And with all my, it's so easy to find all this information. When I was doing all this research, I went from being a religious man to a spiritual man. I do not believe in religion at all, but yet I believe there is one God. Okay, but I also believe there are hundreds, maybe thousands of races out there, and I want to know how many we talk to. I want to know why, if this galactic war is going on and it's being hidden from us, it's so flippin' obvious, there's no point in keeping any more secrets from us. How does a person unplug?
Laura, let me ask you, maybe the unplugged question is a little deep. How about this one? How is it that we can unindoctrinate ourselves? I would say go spend a month with Laura and go spend a month with Laura and get some knowledge.
You're funny. Well, I mean, we're indoctrinated from childhood. It comes through, television, magazines. Hollywood is owned. The political parties are owned, and but it doesn't mean that we're not seeing a big shift in how things could go. And both sides of wars are funded. So to unplug is to be willing to reteach ourselves everything. To be humble enough to say, wow, okay, there's a hidden history that we haven't heard about. There's junk DNA, which is actually the treasure that we need to unlock in order to be able to advance ourselves and get ourselves back. Because this dependency and negative relationship is like being in partnership with a narcissist or an abuser that we need to say no to in divorce and say, okay, and we need to find our own authenticity so that we can see through the lies, because if we're not true to ourselves, we're not going to notice lies, because if we keep externalizing everything, we're easily duped and we're easily played. But if we take the time to really know ourselves and find our own truth frequency, that doesn't mean we have all the answers, but we're living authentically, we're living true to our own heart and soul, we're following our instincts, we're listening to our inner voice, we're connecting to our higher mind, then we're making decisions with cosmic and natural law instead of the matrix like system that is counting on us being compliant. And so the false flags throughout history are to create a survival response that puts us in such a panic we can't even think anymore. And so it's that problem solution kind of. How do you put it again? It's the whole problem reaction solution, and they did that with 9/11. And most false flags are geared towards that. So every time we're about to take a leap as a humanity, they infect us with the virus of chaos and trauma, and then we just don't know what to do because our livelihoods are at stake. And so we're indoctrinated into the money system. We don't know how to function in society without taking the jobs that are presented to us, and without getting, the reward system of, going to school for this and getting a degree and then making money. It's very hard to step outside of all that and live out our callings and missions without going broke, because it's not very supported in the world. But fortunately, the communities that have built around disclosure and, higher consciousness and awakening, everybody's being a lot more geared towards being supportive of one another, but we need to starve the beast, and we need to turn to each other, utilize the skills that we all have, and work with the land, work with the earth, work with the abundance of the earth, and know that there's a world beyond the money system, and that we don't have to we don't have to play in this game anymore. So just like a negative relationship of somebody who's stealing your energy and vampiring off of you and wanting to trigger you and upset you and create like fear and make you feel like you can never leave and there's nowhere else to go. I mean, that's the micro version that we all know how that can go in our own personal lives. It's no different on the world stage. These are parasitic forces that basically are writing the script and editing out the parts that could empower us so that they can steer us into this new world order that they've been planning for thousands and thousands of years. So every time we think we're like maybe winning, they pull out the next card. So now it's the pandemic card. And so to unplug is to not allow the fear that they're trying to elicit to weaken us. Because the thing is, we're in a paradigm shift. If we hold on to something that doesn't serve us and we still rely on it, it's going to lower our immune system more than anything. But the thing is, with the introduction of 5G and how that impacts the grid and how that impacts, the whole planet, that increases the net and it makes it very difficult to access our own true abilities. And so to unplug is to work together, because together, when we have focused intent and we're raising the vibration through love and unity and harmony, it sounds, and I don't mean it in a new agey kind of way, because, there has to be boundaries as well. There has to be, there's been a lot of hijacking through new age communities and a lot of people who think they're channeling something benevolent that might not be channeling something benevolent just to keep us in, sort of like, oh, if you have positive thoughts, it'll all go away. It's like, no, we need to stand up and fight for our rights. We need to stand in sovereignty. We can't just wish it away by denying that it exists, because some people, say that's fear-mongering, but the whole deal with alchemy is that we have to turn the lead into gold, but we have to feel it to heal it. We have to go into the shadow and look at where, for generations upon generations, we are still hooked in on some level. And do the inner work to see, like, where are we still holding some sort of agreement or contract or dependency with the abusive systems and controller forces, because they wouldn't have power if we weren't feeding it on some level. So we need to pull that energy back and redirect it.
Wow, you just blew him up again, Laura. He's in shock.
When you started the conversation, I really want to go there. I have done entire shows on just how fake 9/11 was. I got the pictures that proved that building was pulled. It was demolished with people in it to bring us into an unwinnable war and to destroy the peace that we were so close to make. You could feel it right before 9/11 that this country was about to have a spiritual awakening, and they destroyed it, and they killed. Our government did this. Oh my God, this angers me that people do not. I get into arguments with people sometimes. They tell me, oh, that plane flew into the building and it caused the building to fall. You could fly 5 planes into that damn building and it wouldn't have fell. The flames can't get hot enough to melt the damn metal. It's scientifically proven that could not have happened. And people believed it, and they went in droves like little drones to jump in a war and fight a battle that was forced onto us as a human race and put us into a 10-year, multi-trillion-dollar loss of money and manpower and American citizens, my brother in the military, your brother in the Navy personnel that have died on a false flag, on a bullshit happening that killed many thousands of people, and there was no investigation on that building. That building was immediately hauled to a bunch of, what do you call them big boats with no motor? They filled up, and it was not one piece of that building was scrapped in the United States. No. The FBI did not do anything. How do they take when a plane wrecks and they lay that plane out in a building and they can tell you what rivet popped, what happened to that? But this entire buildings was hauled away to another country. Within 30 days, they had that entire building in China being scrapped. And the lives lost, that irks me.
Ooh, he's getting
And
hot.
it pisses me off that people allow this to be drawn back in, and we were so close to making it as a human race.
They sabotaged it.
Exactly.
Okay. But
I'm sorry when I went off on that,
Yeah,
but
he
that particular subject irritates me, that people allowed to be deceived like that.
Well, hold on.
I know.
Hey, Laura. Well, let's give them the other part. Well, with the disclosure papers for the 9/11 event, they said it was Saudi Arabia. How do you feel now? You went to war with a country that didn't have no involvement. Oh, break your own neck.
How does our government think they have the right to kill American citizens, to get you in a mindset
They've
to
been
think
doing it.
that someone attacked us when nobody fucking attacked us?
Right. but
It
they've
was
been
the whole
doing it.
thing was staged.
Look at World War II when they bombed Pearl Harbor. It was a stage.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. All of our brand new ships were exactly 100 miles away, all anchored together off, and the only thing that was attacked was the damn battleships that we don't even use anymore. My God, how many times is this government allowed to have Americans killed to force us into a war that we have no business being in?
Like we
I'm
went to
sorry.
Vietnam.
I get so... All this subject pisses me off.
So, Laura,
Yeah.
I got a question for you. You gave us, one thing about Laura Eisenhower, everyone, is that she tells you the problem, she gives you the situation, she gives you an example of the situation, and she gives you a remedy.
Laura,
What is your remedy?
exactly. How do you tell someone, an
You need-
American citizen, how did they get started to
Get
unplug?
debugged.
What do they need to do? I've already turned off the TV. I don't watch TV no
No, he
more.
doesn't.
I don't at all. I have a TV on the wall. You can see it in the
It's a
camera.
monitor.
It has. I got Netflix. I got all kinds of crap, but I've not watched a single TV show. When I realized that TV was a mind control game controlled by entities and everything else out of Hollywood, it's so freaking fake. And when you look at 9/11, there are so many tells that Hollywood does a
How about
better
the engine that
destruction
was,
of a
How about
building.
the engine that fell out the airplane after it crashed into the tower? And it was 41 blocks away, something like that. I'm sorry, Laura. Could you please tell us how to debug? We need to know, because, in all honesty, with a lot of people on this, they need to know that. I mean, you gave us the problem. You gave us a summary of it. Then you give us a resolution, and you always give us something that keeps us hoping and wanting to go further. And
Well, what I would suggest for people is one of the things that people are going to notice. I don't watch TV either, but every once in a while when I go to a hotel, and I just switch it on. It's the same commercials, the same pharmaceuticals they're pushing, and people have to understand that there's a whole world they're missing out on connected to, ways to repair DNA, ways to remove heavy metals from the body, ways to get the nanoparticles out of our systems, ways to counteract all these assaults, and also to reach a higher dimensional level that can actually neutralize these weapons, because they rely on us being in our lower chakras. And the indoctrination and the stuff coming through the media is to trigger us staying in that lower vibration. And everything that we've been taught is also, divide and conquer and distortions of, the relationships that we could be nurturing. And when it comes down to the masculine and feminine, that gets confusing, because yes, I mean, it's not like there's a certain way to be a man or a certain way to be a woman, but it's about energy circulation of the right and left brain, the electromagnetic, and just being able to be receptive and be creative, be able to integrate polarity of light and dark, understanding that dark is like the womb, it's like the soil. We plant seeds in it and it grows new life. But because we've lost connection with our own true essence, everything's externalized, that it's good and this is bad and this is good and this is bad, and they're relying on us to be polarized. So it's either a person's religious or they're atheist. or they might be going into like the dark Luciferian covenant type thing, but they're usually recruited in. But yes, spiritual freedom, understanding that we naturally are spiritual beings. There's a lot of well-intentioned stuff that we can find, but we got to take what resonates and leave the rest. Like it's really important. Like if we're dealing with an attack. Attack on consciousness, and there's holographic inserts, and there's things like implants, and there's mass abductions that have happened to so many people, and there's this hidden thing operating in the background that's trying to control weather. Well, as long as we're mind controlled, we're going to be on a planet that has weather control, because we're elemental. Our DNA is made up of elements. We're healing the mitochondrial DNA, which is connected to the fifth element, which is ether, and it's available right now, and it hasn't been for 26,000 years. And it actually can purify our systems, but we're so distracted by everything, not us, but people are so locked into the TV that they're actually distracting themselves away from a transformational energy that's available right now. And so the pandemic isn't just, okay, bioweapons and we're being attacked. We're also needing to notice, well, where's our vulnerability? Why is that attack being successful? It's because people aren't ready to let go of the old paradigm. So we have to return to the earth, but we have to recognize that we're cosmic and galactic beings, and that there's cosmic and natural laws that are encoded with our human advancement. And those are way, way more powerful than this matrix bubble and net that we've been caught under. And it relies on mind control. And if we could just free our minds, and people could be willing to re-educate themselves, that would be great. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of people out there with integrity that, I mean, it's very unfortunate to see conscious communities that are supposed to be, have a lot of infighting. We talk about infighting on a larger level, but there's infighting in the disclosure community. So it's very, very hard to find, the right people. So, it's a tough one, but people can just Google like DNA repair with herbs, and they're going to have a huge list of herbs that they can begin to take to protect their DNA, to begin to help rid them of heavy metals. But the thing is, this is for people that are naturally programmed. Those that are awakened, I don't feel are going to be as susceptible to these assaults, because once you free your mind, there's no turning back. It's very hard to mind control a person that has found a truth beyond the narrative that they're trying to steer. So people just need to take the time to step out of that, because the synchronicities and magic and flow begin to really light up when we're not like in the mind control. So just like everybody thinks they should have vaccines, they should turn it around and say everybody needs deprogramming. We need more practitioners who are going to help deprogram people, help remove implants. I mean, there was Dr. Lear who died. And there's a few out there that can help remove implants, but we need to get this alien machinery off of ourselves. And instead of looking for the false solutions and false cures, we need to say to ourselves, we've been mind controlled, we need to deprogram before we do anything. Because how can we possibly make any wise choices for ourselves if we can't understand that there's been social engineering, Project Mockingbird, Project Paperclip, that brought all the Nazi scientists in, and there are massive projects that are geared towards controlling the masses. And the dumbing down is so huge that we're digging a hole deeper and deeper every day that we don't determine the number one priorities. First is to learn how to treat each other with love and respect, and to recognize that we all hold a piece of some kind of programming. And if our priority could be to deprogram, and we could help prop up those people and practitioners that are able to handle this sort of thing and understand the larger picture, then we're going to be going to the right sources to break free of this intrusion. Because the things are taking it to the next level. The contact tracers and all these things, to separate families and come into our homes to test us for something. It's like they've never done that with all these other... they've never attempted this in history, and this is why they didn't want disclosure, because they needed to get to a certain place in the agenda where the laws are passed and there's no turning back. They needed to keep us in the dark for them to get the strategies in place to implement this next level. And I don't want to say it's too late, but we're in a very small window period right now to get it together. And unfortunately, this is, the mainstream narrative is designed to block people from it. And there's a huge portion of humanity that are probably going to die out, of course, because they're not ready. But there's a huge portion that are awakened enough to be the override frequency to begin to help unplug people from the AI, because it acts as an override frequency. And so that wave of energy needs to increase in order to help those that wouldn't know how to find it themselves to feel that wave of inspiration and clarity and just get out of the confusion. Also, the educational systems have created a lot of arrogance where people don't want to question the degrees they have or the type of sciences they've learned. So, and the police force and the people in the medical industries that are serving the dark agendas have to be humble enough and strong enough to say, wow, appreciate the great education you got, but don't work for these people anymore. So we need to build big communities and foundations that can help support people transitioning into utilizing their skills and abilities to serve humanity instead of the dark forces. Because most people in the medical industries, most people in the police force, the ones that should be helping us to heal, helping to protect us, are going against the integrity and the true principles they should be upholding to further an agenda because they're afraid of not having the paycheck. So we need to help create greater resources for people to be able to move away from that and turn their skills and abilities into something greater. So medical doctors should be open to herbs and Chinese medicine. The police force should look towards the true laws of nature and cosmos and really looking to create justice. So there's millions of people that need to stop serving a dark agenda because of the money that they're being promised, and also the ego connected to what they thought was an identity. We're going through a massive identity crisis. People don't know how to reset because they were propped up and their self-esteems were pumped up because they got some law degree or some medical degree or some badge, and their ego is absolutely getting in the way. They're not able to see the larger picture. So those people, I've been trying to reach out to them in my videos. Hey, guys, do the right thing. Quit serving the dark side, because a huge portion of the population is feeding an agenda that they don't realize they're feeding. They're being told how to respond to it, but a lot are waking up and saying, this goes against the protocols that make sense, just like engineers and architects in 9/11 are like, that's impossible. The physics don't make any sense to buildings collapsing like that. Our educational system should serve us an awakening instead of staying compliant, because they should be smart enough if they really learn medicine. And so, or if they really, got that badge, they should have done it for the right reasons. And so, yeah, the more people that stand up, the better. There was one cop who refused to arrest people for not wearing masks or, for not obeying. And they fired him for taking a stand. And so, to me, those are the heroes, the people that refuse to play the game anymore, and they redirect their skills and abilities that they've learned through the system, and they break out of that mold, and they do something right with it.
Wow. I wish I could be as articulate as you are with your ability to point out what is obvious and what people should be able to see with their own two eyes. You have two planes flying to a building, and then a building 100 feet away falls that was never touched by anything, and they said, oh, well, part of the jet fell down and knocked it down.
It was a wing.
Oh, my God. Are you that stupid?
It was a wing.
Okay, while you were talking through this, I did exactly what you told me to do, and I posted it in both the chat rooms. But I looked up the ether definition, and I want to read something so people understand where it's not that hard to begin to break free. The element ether, called Akasha in Sanskrit, is the first of the 5 great elements. It comes first because it is the most subtle of the elements, often referred to as space. It is the essence of emptiness. It is the space the other elements fill. You must have a container to hold things. Ether to me, when I read that definition, is the container that holds your spirituality, your the parts of your existence that you should be concentrating on.
The soul.
And that's exactly what me and Daryl are doing with the company. We are using this monetary bullshit cash system. We have only used cash. People do not realize we have only used cash for about 300 to 400 years on this planet. Other than that, it was trade. And sometimes they had, the Romans started it with the Caesar coin. And that was one of the first monetary systems that we fall under. Now our monetary system is so precise, it does not allow a human to do anything. It's exactly. We are building a company to get money, to broadcast this, to bring it to more people. We are going to build. I have spent every dime I have made in the last 10 years to build the studio that we are talking to you today on. Okay, I spent $5,000 building one computer, so I can guarantee that I can bring the information to the people. When you are speaking on particular things, I am trying to search as fast as you are speaking. And it is all out there. It is so easy to find.
All you gotta do
And
is listen.
you said all you have to do is Google DNA herbs, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you look that up, you get a ton of information and how to clean your own DNA. And I did not know this stuff existed, but I knew something was wrong. I have talked to Daryl about it for years now. He got me back into radio. I was so disgusted with what happened before
COVID-19.
I left. Oh, I know. Screw the distance. We know it don't happen. And when you can see what these people, and I don't even know who's in control, but I know they're trying to control. That's why I stopped watching TV. But if people understand to start breaking free, you need to go find a chair with no lights, no walls, no roof, and you sit there for hours and listen to your own head, because it will tell you how you get out of this situation. And in listening to you speak, Laura, I actually have been able to connect several dots in my brain that I did not know were connected. But now that I understand how they're connected, I am going to work at that so damn hard, and I am going to make sure that I tell every human being that I run across. That's why I do this show. That's why we bring wonderful guests to our public. We have thousands of listeners. We are all over the world. We are in Russia. We are in China. We are in Romania. We are in Japan, Haiti.
India,
exactly.
China, Japan, Indonesia.
We are starting the conversation, and when you boil down to it, in the town I live in, the cops don't even talk to you. There's no mask issue. There's no people getting arrested for any stupid
and this is
shit
Florida.
like that. Exactly. And if anything, you would think the virus would be worse down here because of the heat, and that's how viruses work. They work better in the heat, not in the cold. So in winter, it's going to mutate less. As we're coming into the summer, this weapon that they are using against us called coronavirus SARS-2, known as COVID-19, is a flippin' weapon, people. It is not a virus that was made by God. It is a man-made virus to call the population down, because these people in control think that the 7 billion people that exist on this planet is too many, and they want to get it down. What was the thing? They want to get it down to 500,000 people on the entire planet. People think that those rocks out there with the new commandments, they think they're a joke and whatever. These people, I think it was I may be wrong, but I think it was the cabal that paid for that and put that out there. And that's what they want to do. They do not respect the human person as an individual. They want to mind control everything. They want to make you, they want to turn you into a slave so they can get their energy from you without you being able to do anything. And it pisses me off to the 9th degree that people just, they watch the flipping news and think it's actual news. They watch a TV show that has subliminal messages through the entire thing. I had a whole show on it where I took a commercial and I pulled out the subliminal messages onto it. And I'm a man, but I cried when I saw all those subliminal messages that they're blasting into your brain constantly. And the only way you can break free from it is stop following their commands. They are trying, they tell you, watch TV, you work, you go make some money that's not enough to buy food, that's not enough to keep gas in your vehicle, it does not direct your spiritual body to anything. It is strictly a means of control of the population, and we are talking about it. We are starting the conversation. And it has to be done one-on-one. It takes people like Laura. It takes other people like myself, like Odin. We have to break people free, and eventually, Laura, what would you think would be the tipping point that would take us to and put a human being on the higher plane where we belong? We almost were there before 9/11. You could feel it in this country. You could feel a level of love that was floating out in the air. I was proud just to be a human being, and then 9/11 happened. And it knocked us back into the damn dark ages.
Yep.
And people swallowed that crap up.
And they're not mad about knowing it's
Right.
Saudi Arabia.
How can you not be mad at your own government that kills people to direct your mind into thinking that someone else is bad, to keep us in a perpetual war that is unwinnable? We have 26 freaking aircraft carriers. My God, why do you need 26 aircraft carriers?
Laura?
Yeah, that's a whole military-industrial complex. All this money and resources going into just the war. I mean, we're so fragmented. People talk about oneness, and we're all. I mean, it's just like at the end of the day. I mean, we're battling ourselves. I mean, and that's part of the waking up process, is to move beyond these lower negative ego constructs that seek to addict us to the matrix. And I'm not talking substances, because,
Right.
substances are what they are, and it's a coping mechanism that a lot of us, might gravitate towards at times. And that's whatever. Sometimes those are medicines that can just help get through a freaking day, because it's such an anxiety-ridden planet. But the addiction matrix of money, of status, the way they indoctrinated our self-esteems into what it means to be successful and what it looks like if you're a failure. Like these are all invented concepts that have been pushed upon us. And, to get to the next level, we got to move beyond the personality matrix and start to get into our soul, start to get into our heart, start to, learn about what this particular window period is all about. I mean, there's so much available that holds the antidote and solution, but it's like nobody's really interested.
I don't understand that.
I need more information.
Exactly. You tell someone, you tell them you are living in a matrix. You have no control over your own life. You are completely indoctrinated into following a pattern that they make you do. And as a human race, we will never step till that next step is taken. And it's not the government. They can't stop us. So if you were to tell, all right, Laura, let's put it down to one question. If you were to tell someone what they need to do to start seeing the reality that we see openly, that is out there, and it's enough to make a person weep because of how disgusting this is and controlling it is. So what if someone were to come up and say, okay, what do I do to start the process? What would you tell a person with that?
Gosh, so many people are. I mean, there's such a diverse sort of reaction to all this. I would say, yeah, for the ones that you mean, like, especially the ones that are just listening to everything that they're told and just not digging deeper. I mean, drop the whole term conspiracy theory. You know, there's too much at stake to turn the other way just because it's uncomfortable. I mean, we're very used to, in this last 26,000 year cycle, having authorities to tell us what to do. It's like this false parent. It's time for us to recognize that as a human race, we need to mature. We need to grow up. We don't need a dad, we don't need somebody deciding for us how we should manage our health. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know where to start with people because I've been trying for so long. It's like, I would just...
Every medicine...
You got to start almost with light massage before you go into deep tissue, or else they'll run away. So it's kind of like, how do you warm a person up? First, it's like, I think it's just really important to engage a person with a lot of respect, form a healthy kind of connection, so that the armor is down and the defensiveness is down a little bit, and it's a little bit more friendly. So what I tend to do is I look at where a person's struggling the most. Did they lose their job? Okay. So I might, talk to them about the other, options and possibilities, not to go become a contact tracer because they're going to pay you $20 to $25 an hour and they're going to prop you up as being a hero for stopping the disease. It's like, the thing is, it's such a huge education. It's like going through a whole other university all over again to even begin to understand the level of, corruption and facades. I would try to help them, I guess. There's so many documentaries out there. It's like, here's your reading list. It's just, for some, I don't encourage people to drain, like overly try and wake up somebody who more than likely isn't, but to come together with like-minded people to build upon the sense of community, to be a better example, to, so I have a vision where people can come and like work with medicine the right way, really like build community. So it's sort of like building the immune system. We can't really convince the toxicity to change, but we can amplify what works in order to phase out the things that don't, so that it begins to, and it's not all about health. I mean, all of our physical bodies aren't necessarily going to make it through the gates, but our consciousness will. So let's focus on the energy first, and then the physical will follow. And it's not necessarily about the human vessel. We might, end up going into like a healing chamber and having everything restored. We might pick up other bodies of ourselves in higher dimensions and parallel universes but we have to be willing to advance and reclaim that which was lost. So, I mean, that's a really tough question. It's just...
No, I realize...
It's obvious. It's like when we've come this far and they still don't get it, I don't know what anybody could possibly say, but we need to amplify what works so that... Because trying to wake up somebody is only going to go so far, but if we work on building a community with like-minded people, like, we're all like-minded, we're all on the same wavelength, we find more people that are willing to speak these sort of truths and are really looking out for humanity, or not in this for ego, not in this for the wrong reasons, and we work on expanding that, people will feel a warmth and feel like wow, this actually feels safe. People don't feel safe when somebody tries to wake them up because they're already so afraid of the truth that we just, I think, need to create sort of a welcoming. But then at the same time, it's like, I'm like you, I get so fired up that, it's hard not to...
Yes. I have to apologize. I get really fired up on some of this
Super
stuff.
Fired up. I can totally relate. But the thing is, you're coming at it with your heart in the right place. So you being fired up does not have one shred of abusiveness or force. You have righteous rage. It's totally relatable. And so I think there's a safety in that. So there's nothing that I would say that you guys should do any different than what you're doing. But that righteous rage is coming from the right place. So people that are trustworthy and have integrity on a heart level need to come together more and more, because people will feel a feeling of safety, like, wow, okay, maybe I have something to learn from you. But when it's all about like aliens and disclosure and it's lacking heart and a sense of community and building community, I think people are very intimidated by the information. It's like people are more willing to take risks if there's a feeling of safety instead of threat. And I think sometimes it can come off like too much in the battle zone. Like, we look at comments. If anybody posts something and somebody doesn't agree, they literally belittle them and trash them. That's different than righteous rage. Righteous rage is just like, enough already. I mean, that's a healthy response to the bullshit of life is what I'm seeing in you. To not respond or react is scary. When people are just, so it's much better to have that fire than not. But I think, people just need to be warmed up first, and to know that, they can go through an identity crisis and not be judged or shamed, because people are so afraid of losing the identity that they feel took care of them by the system that has failed them. They don't realize that the very system that helped educate them is the same system that's failing them. And so if we can all, help people feel more comfortable and safe, and we can work on building our own truth frequency, we're all going to be able to work together better to see the lies from the truth. And we got to admit that sometimes we're not always going to be right, even if we have a lot, So if we can just come from that, place, I think people will be more willing to listen. But the thing is, if they don't listen, I don't think they're going to get very far, because the system is out to poison and dumb you down and assimilate you into AI and transhumanism. And the reason that we're vulnerable, or a lot of people are vulnerable, is because they're accepting a false solution. So we need to build a community that is filled with abundance, prosperity, that's based in things beyond the money system, but just how we are utilizing each other's gifts and abilities. But yeah, maybe somebody can fund it and they have greater resources, because obviously we're not out of the woods yet. We're still in the money system. But a feeling of safety for people, like real compassion and having those spiritual principles intact, to maybe approach it from that angle first, and then have maybe courses that people can take. But they might, it's like I just see us building healing centers and educational systems that can correct what has been done wrong and do it right. But it's going to take lots of us to be willing to do this together. So right now it's starting off with doing radio shows, which is huge, right? Putting information out there. But I think there's going to be a point in which we all start to turn to each other and okay, well, because our higher self knows exactly what we need to do. So we might have that epiphany of, hey, are you ready to maybe, because we're going to need places all over the world. And it's sort of like how cops wear badges.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we would want to use this word, but it's almost like in these times we need to wear shirts that say light worker, light warrior, here to help. How can I help you, process the craziness? I'm a benevolent being that can help you to get away from these dangers. And the conspiracy theory title can be dropped and can be like, we're your light warrior, we're your friend, we're here to help you transition into a better world. Because right now, when they look at this sort of information, people look at me, you're just a conspiracy theorist, or you're woo-woo with your spiritual stuff. How can we appeal to those that are stubborn and scared?
I think they're more scared than stubborn. Okay, it has taken me 10 years of research and opening up my mind to allow myself to see the truth. And now I see the truth. I want to absorb it. I want to know everything I possibly can. Mm-hmm. And there was a point in my life that I want to share. And the reason I do my radio show is I want to share my experience so I can open up, because you have to do it one mind at a time. You have to do it patiently. Like you said, you have to do it slow. I have my website that explains it. I teach a survival course where I take people out in the field, and I haven't done it for a while because I've been injured, But I take people, I teach them that you do not need money to live. You do not need TV to live.
Nope.
Every medicine that is made by man comes from a natural source. Everything that we need to survive as a human being, both spiritually, monetarily, and physically, is out there in the natural world for us to grasp. You just have to open your eyes, and we try to do it very gently on this show, but there are some things I just can't be calm about because I'm so angry that people fall for this falsehood of narration in the TV news in the people that are trying to control.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
My
but
question.
people need that fire from you. It's a good. You have good fire. Believe me. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Daryl?
Laura, I got a question. Why is it that we cannot get the quote unquote the good people, the ones that want to tell the truth, speak the truth, on national TV? Hold on.
There's not one show.
There's
that
not
speaks
one
the
show.
truth.
They even had many little TV shows that were like, what was it? One was spelling the falseness of those TV show on that. They had Discovery Channel. They have all these other channels, and all of them are lies. They're fake.
Even when you look, this will break your heart. If you looked at a 5th grade history book.
Oh my God.
That they are teaching our children the bullshit that is in that book.
Christopher
They
Columbus
have
discovered
twisted
America in 1492. The son of a bitch wasn't even near the damn country.
Yeah, he missed.
He missed. But see, we're going to believe that lie. I mean, I'm sorry. Laura, you know, I don't want to get hot. Look, I got my corona.
I say be gentle, though. I don't mean like let go of the fire. The fire moves energy. The thing is, when you speak to people on that level, you awaken something in them because they're really angry and scared underneath, and you make it relatable. You're not coming at them in an angry way. You're pissed at what these agendas are doing to them because you care. It's kind of like
It's a love that I have.
It is coming from love.
But why can't you get on national TV, Laura? Why can't you have your own talk show during prime time? Hold on a second. Let me go this route.
Okay.
Why can't we have you on a national talk show? Why can't you be interviewed for ABC, Good Morning America, or any show like that? Why?
They're all fake.
Well, hold on. No, they want to see Kim Kardashian's fake booty. Or they want to see this and that. And Laura, let me ask you. I said it. They want to see Michelle Obama's Wong. But the bottom line is Michael. Sorry.
Okay, so have you noticed that Fauci is working with all these celebribrities?
Yes.
And these celebrities are promoting the WHO organization and Fauci because they're all linked. Those that have, I don't want to say the word sold their soul, but it's a metaphorical thing, right? Those that have chosen fame and money are the ones being promised.
Right.
You know, all the advancements that we're being cut from. So they've got underground bases of clones that they can take their body parts to keep. You know, they have adrenochrome. They're literally using human trafficking as a currency to keep themselves young, famous, and powerful.
Yes.
So that's why we're seeing these collaborations because they're all pushing the same agenda, which is that they're bigger than all of us, and we're just.
All right, that brings up a question.
Drinking the blood
When you go to Hollywood and you become indoctrinated as an actor, there is an organization that if you do not join, you will be shut out of it. What is the name of that organization?
Alfred Weber said it last time.
Right,
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but when you become an actor, so you can continue the deception that is covering and stopping us from becoming.
Well, I know people that are in Hollywood, and they said there's certain things they cannot say, or they cannot, they can't go against, or they can't because they might not get another movie.
And there's blackmail. There's the blackmail. Like at these billionaire parties, they will drug you and they will film you doing something terrible, and then they'll hold that over you. But that's part of the initiation. It's sort of like a sorority. It's like that's like the hazing.
You know
What is the name of that? I know it's. What is that? What is it called?
Oh God.
Oh, I know you guys were talking about it. I can't remember either.
I'm just my mind is gone blank. But when you join these organizations, and they always do that symbol, whatever that symbol is that you see every actor doing on every single picture that is posted, and they don't. I forget the hand signal.
The pyramid.
Yes, they do the
but
pyramid.
What
is it? This?
Yeah, but I gotta remember the name of the organization because all of them are members of it, and it's kind of weird, Laura.
Oh, it's sick what they do behind closed doors.
Yes, but we don't talk about that, right?
But we're going to.
Oh, hold on.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Do you think? But I want to know the answer to the serious question, Laura. Why can't you be on those TV shows? You earned it. You deserve it. You tell the truth. Why can't you? You're the only one that I know personally, and you know I know a lot of people. Why can't you be on a morning TV show and tell the truth?
Yeah, well, that's because the media is owned by these cabal members, and it's just they'll do anything to keep us quiet. And look at all the censoring. I posted something on Facebook the other day, and they threatened to disable my account. So
you've been shut down on Facebook how many times in the last 6 months now?
I don't want to say. Hold on, I'm still in Facebook.
Exactly. So that's the reason, right there.
Now, when what we are doing right now is we are working within the system. Me and Daryl has partnered up in a business, and we are going to use their own system to break them down. We are going to build a TV studio we can, and I would love to have you as a guest when we get on, and we are going to get this show on that. Whether we get shut down or not, we'll get our own damn antenna. You cannot stop us from speaking the truth.
Now, you remember that's $100,000 fine, MV. I mean,
I'll take it. Give me the fine. I don't care.
At least
throw me in prison.
At least you're telling the truth.
I will speak the truth from wherever I am.
And that's a shame because you have to be, what's the word? Threatened. You will get, how about the man that got not one shot to the head, but 2 shots to the head? Oh, it was suicide. Laura.
The police shot. What was the guy's name? Right. They filmed the cop shooting him in the back when he did not have a gun outside his pickup truck. He was the leader of the revolution that happened in Wyoming. They pulled him over. They had his hands up, and then they shot him in the back.
And hold on. And scrubbed from media as we speak.
But they showed it on these idiots showed it.
No. You made a mistake. It was not there. You were blind.
I saw it.
No, you didn't see it. It was a dream. Ain't that how they do it? It's a shame, Laura, that, it takes somebody like you to open those eyes.
Yes.
It takes somebody like you to open those doors. Honestly, my next hope was to talk to you about maybe Laura needs to start a retreat.
Why not?
No, seriously.
Why not?
She can start a retreat, and
or
every
convention.
day, a retreat, and get a few good people that she knows together.
Oh, okay.
And what they can do is the good people that she knows, the one that tells the truth, not those fake lying. I went to the center of the earth, and I talked to a dog. We're talking about people that really, like Laura. So, yeah, we know a lot of them, and we ain't going to say no names because,
Oh, don't go there.
I'm not going to go there.
Don't go there. We'll skip that part.
I skipped it.
That's a whole separate show.
Yeah, okay. Because I want you to have him on your show. I know you want to have fun. Back to the point. Laura, why can't you start a retreat? I know you're busy. You're writing your book. You got clients and conferences and everything going haywire. Why don't you start a retreat and break the pattern?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of retreats, but yeah, I don't know. I'm always open to the ideas based on when I can do something. I don't know. I'm just doing what I can. Yeah.
It's hard.
Okay. Let me make that a little bit easier. When we get our new studio built, which is a TV studio that we are in the process of using. these evil systems that work out there against us. We are using their money and their system, and we are going to bust it wide open. I don't care. I do not earn money so I can buy crap. I earn money so I can build stuff to explain, to bring the truth to people, to do my show. I want.
Don't
oh my
speak
God,
too loud. Don't
the
speak too loud because
energy-
they might come to the door.
The energy that I feel right now between this conversation,
Yes.
between Laura Eisenhower, Daryl Neely, and Thomas Fry, the energy in this studio is ridiculous. I can feel it. I can feel the love that is trying to be passed on to people. And I love this feeling. I'm addicted to it. I
love
want
humanity.
more. I want to know the truth.
I want to love humanity the way I used to love humanity, because I'm sorry, you millennials have twisted things up. You want to be a Swedish meatball now? Is that what you want to be? Hold on. You want to be a giraffe? A dog? I'm sorry. Where do you get these ideas? It has to come from somewhere.
How can you, if you're a man
How do
and
you
you
change
are
your gender?
legally able to say, I'm a woman, compete in women's sports and take all their trophies? That is wrong.
Don't even go there.
Well, we have to. We have to talk about this to
This is-
end it. Not the battle. That's a whole another show. We will do that. Okay? We'll take care of you, I promise.
Because you know I got a lot to say.
We're going to do a special show on this particular battle, but we need to go back to what we are trying to spiritually awaken people one mind at a time. We will do it gently, and then we'll bring it up. So, Laura, I would like, if you would do it for me on maybe a Word document or something, if you could send me your links to some of your videos so we can get it out there for all of our listeners to be able to go and give them a place to find the truth. If you're listening to me, you already have my YouTube channel. This is all I talk about. I am a survival expert, and I think that the only way you're going to survive this bullshit existence is by waking yourself up, by stop watching TV, stop playing their stupid games, listen to people that tell the truth. I know, Laura, just out of curiosity, if you were to tell someone everything you know, I tried it once. It took me 6 hours. Remember that show I did?
Yes.
I did a 6-hour show on how to break away from the system. I call it survival. I call it you in order to survive the system, and because death is only the beginning. People do not understand that. This short life that we live, that you gain all this knowledge, when your consciousness goes to the next level, you keep your knowledge. You do not lose that knowledge when you go to the next step.
Just don't come back. I had to say that, Laura. You know me. But no, the truth is, don't come back. If they say they got a body for you, don't come back. Please stay free. Don't get clogged down. I mean, I know for a fact that Laura has been helping people for, I hate to use the word decades because it might sound like we got some age on us, but we're eternally young.
We call that educated, not old. We call that wise, not angry.
Okay.
We call that waking up from, the movie The Matrix, all three of them, oh my God, that could actually be life as it exists, as I say it. I think that some of these shows that they put on, and I've always said this, and I'm going to tell you, Laura, what I think.
Replays of The Matrix anymore.
SG-1, Stargate 1, when they did that show, the companies that sponsored that show are all owned by the CIA. That was almost 20 seasons, and they tell you exactly what is going on behind the closed doors. And I think that whole series was a test to see if they could actually disclose the information to the population, what would happen to the human mind if you learn the truth. It would literally kill some people because they are so indoctrinated. I know we can't save everybody. I understand that. It's a damn shame that people are going to go to their grave believing that and then when when you get past and you go through that door and you become a consciousness and you understand exactly what is going on and the wrongs that are committed, but it's too late then. Your body is done. My body has been fighting me for 10 years now, trying to break itself down, and I am not letting it win.
You're going to get your crystal back.
I don't care what happens to me. I don't care how sick I get. Till the day I die, I will do this show. I will do everything I can to wake people up. I want to expand my existence as a human being. I want to open my mind. And I think that is the first step. Turn off the freaking TV.
Everybody says turn off that TV.
Learn who you are. Silence is golden.
How about this? Turn off that Facebook Messenger, everybody.
Yes.
You'll click that button, like, click.
Hey, you have an extensive knowledge of the aliens and the communications between aliens and humans and what is going on. How many races would you say are currently working with our government how many races would you say we are communicating with at this present time?
That's a good question.
Oh, hundreds. I mean, numbers have come in from different people saying hundreds and hundreds have been interacting with the governments. But it depends because it's so multi-layered. On a human sort of level with, it's hard to say. It's hard to trust the sources of information sometimes, but supposedly there's 22 competing programs, but there's more than 900 species in the sort of secret space program, bartering systems.
It's one of those races. I've heard this rumor, but I've not been able. I called a rumor because I've not been able to verify it. And if I say something on Blue Collar Politics when I'm talking to you, the listener, I can guarantee you it is the truth. And I will always say, if I am not sure of something, it could be a rumor, it could be maybe true, it could maybe not. But there is a race of aliens that the government is allowing to abduct. And they're the ones that do the cattle that all of a sudden, overnight, nobody sees anything in a field and a cattle is mutilated and every organ taken out of it. Humans are abducted on a daily basis, and it is a monetary trade between the government. They want their technology, so they are willing to say, go ahead and abduct whoever you want. Have you heard of that?
Of aliens being able to abduct whoever they want?
Yes.
They're looking for something specific. There was things put in place that happened way before Eisenhower. Eisenhower's administration was considered a surrender because the Greada Treaty gets renewed every 10 years. ET and governments have been relating, or the first contact was actually what I heard in 1884, and then again in 1920. That was a big one during Roosevelt's administration, particularly like Hitler, Churchill, and Crowley were very much the ones that made the original deals with the Greys. So we never really won the war because Project Paperclip infiltrated this country, and they, through compartmentalism, made themselves seem agreeable. Incarnated into a human body to allow themselves to be abducted so that those future races could heal themselves by gaining the genetic material. And then, so there might be some agreements between some of them. This is what I've learned, and from clients as well. But then there's breeding programs. They can just take any desirable person to mix their DNA with. But they might have a greater agreement that we don't understand. But from the human perspective, it feels like an abuse and a violation, which it is. So why can't there be a better way? If there is some kind of agreement, why does it have to be so high? If there is some kind of agreement, why does it have to be so hostile? Why does it have to be so traumatizing? So I think it depends. Holographic technologies that can make a reptilian look like a Nordic. So, and they can fool all sorts of people. They're wanting to implant most of the human race, and that's through the vaccinations. But I think you have to be a certain blood type to be able to be abducted, but I don't know.
Laura, I got a question. Now, with all this knowledge, what is your greatest fear? I mean, honestly, what is your greatest fear when it comes to humanity itself? Because for me, my fear at this moment is that we're being neglected. We're fearing everything outside of us. We don't know if the Greys are good, the Greys are bad, the Nordics are good, the Nordics are bad. What is your fear, and is there a way to, it goes back to, is there a way to break the indoctrination?
I think, it's a mixed bag, and good or bad is only relative to the person feeling threatened by someone. So they don't necessarily think they're bad. Some are in survival, but the reptilian in their hierarchy and the breakaway secret space programs that are literally out to screw the human race, I just think that's bad. And I'm not going to fluff it up with, it's every, yeah. I mean, what am I scared? I'm really afraid that, I'm not afraid for those that are awake, and I don't think we're at the mercy of those who are asleep, and we're going to, end up being enslaved because other people refuse to wake up, and we're going to have to pay the price. I feel like we're riding a different wave of energy that we might possibly bifurcate. I guess I worry about the well-intentioned people that love their family, who care about the earth, that have, decency in them, and they're good people. I'm just really afraid that the division has gotten so bad that they're not going to give this kind of information the time of day. I mean, we have to build an army of light and love. I mean, and I don't mean light just in don't face the dark, but light is an intention. The intention for the greater good. Yeah, I'm worried that people are not strong enough in their soul connection with themselves that they just can't hear their own inner voice. I feel that theft that has been going on too long is so horrific that it just worries me that people will never be able to appreciate the blessing of what it truly means to be human and to work together and to be on a beautiful planet and to embrace a larger galactic heritage and family. I guess my empathic nature feels a lot of overwhelm. Like my heart's broken for people that just don't know how to do it, but then the frustration is, it's right under your nose, and that's when I get a little bit pissed, not at them directly, but at how deep these programmings go. So, but I believe that they have a good heart. They're going to have some breakthrough in their life. Some event's going to happen to help shake them awake. So I guess, at the end of the day, because I have faith in that, I'm not really fearful of anything. I guess the fear I feel is what's always been there. I can't stand another human being getting hurt and abused, and that just hurts no matter where we are on the timeline.
Let me add a little section to that question, and I think you're going to understand where I'm coming from on this one. The five people that I care about in my life, that I love unconditionally, my children and my mother.
What about me?
Well, I love you as a brother. You're my brother from another mother.
You're my brother.
Hey. Okay.
Corona.
What?
My Corona.
Yeah, my Sharona.
I did it today. I went Corona.
Do you worry about the people that you love, your children, your family, that you are directly attached to? I don't even know how to ask it properly, but in doing all this, I love my children, but I don't know how to wake them up. Now my daughter's awake. Okay, she's been awake all her life.
Yes, she is.
Okay. Not to upset my mother if she's listening, but I think Wicca is the closest to the actual spiritual existence that you can become, because they worship the four elements: the wind, air, earth, and water. Fire. So fire, earth, wind, and water, right?
Bingo.
Okay. Do you fear for the safety of your immediate family? I have two of my children that are not awake, and
absolutely, I do. Yes, I try and transmute that worry, but yes, as a mother, for sure, all my family, everybody, yes. Sorry, keep going.
No, that was, go ahead and interrupt me when you get, I wasn't sure how to ask it, so, because I know my fear, it literally stops me, and lately I haven't been able to do it, but I love to go out on my back patio with no sound. I usually do it about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up, I go out there, I sit, I look at the stars. Well, actually, they're not stars. The only thing you got to understand, you're not seeing stars, you're seeing satellites reflecting the sun because they're so high on the earth that the sunlight is hitting them and they look like a star. There's so many flipping satellites up there, you almost can't see through them. You can see Venus. Now, that brings me to a rabbit hole that I want to go. There is a base on the backside of the moon, correct?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've heard, you know? So, have I seen it myself? No. But have I heard about it? Yes. And, I mean, the moon has an artificial component to it, and it's occupied. I mean, the Saturn moon matrix technologies, I mean, these things are like infested. It's like having a house of roaches, right? It's like these...
I love that. House of roaches.
Let me interrupt. Go ahead.
Sorry, Laura, but you hit us hard with that one because guess what? Our minds are a house of roaches with all the lies we've been told since the day you were born. Think about this. They lied to you from the first day.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm sorry. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's such a betrayal that and people created their whole reality around it, and it's such a part of their cellular makeup. It's like they've acclimated it to the point where removing themselves from it is a death in and of itself, and it, you know, any kind of identity crisis or ego death, or especially all those that have invested their hard-earned dollars and beliefs and work, and you know how that is, you guys. You know, you lost a brother in the war. You know, it's so shattering to their reality that they have to keep hiding behind conspiracy. It must be conspiracy. There's no way it's true because it's so earth-shattering. Like I was rebellious enough growing up that it wasn't shocking. I mean, it was sort of shocking, but I was well prepared because I didn't listen in school. As what, you know?
Do you have a college degree?
Well, I have an associate's in wilderness education.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she does.
Well, I'm currently working towards a master's degree in digital forensics.
Okay, well, you have a sound mind already. You've already gotten the good education, so you'll bring something really amazing to that. Because the thing is, we need to transform it on the inside, right? So the educational system can be really good, but you've already done. I mean, awake people entering the system to change it sounds like what you're doing, and that's like huge.
I have learned the only way that I see a change to be able to happen is you have to work within the system, keeping your mind closed to the BS that they're trying to put on you. Use the system, get the money, and we are working so hard. We want to build our next investment is a TV studio.
And Laura will be our guest.
Exactly. I would like Laura. I would love
if
you would be our very first guest on our new TV show. Once we get it'd probably take us a year or so to get the money up
6 months to a year.
Right, 2 years at the most. But we are going to get I already have a slot on public national TV. I can get an hour show. Right.
The United States.
Exactly. So it'll be all up and down. It'll be on all the public stations east of the Mississippi. Is national? It's owned by National Public Radio, but it's public. It's public access TV. Mm-hmm. We are going to take blue collar politics to a whole nother level, and I think that will help wake up people if we can sit in the open in front of a camera and show that you cannot, they can't stop you. You can wake up
they're gonna try.
Oh yeah, they're going to try.
They're going to throw you religion. They're going to throw you a belief system. That's not, I don't say religion. They're going to throw you a belief system. Now, Laura, I got a question. You know that we're indoctrinated from the day we're born. And if you were a child, you would walk around and you would be happy and free. Without no indoctrination around you. You would be happy and free. You wouldn't have a care in the world. But they gave it to us and they passed it on from parent to child, parent to child, parent to child. They want you to believe. That's the feared word.
And they're changing the damn books to whatever they want to do.
Listen, they got the right to change it at will.
No, they
wrote
don't.
It. They wrote it.
I don't care. It's not real.
But they wrote it.
Fake history.
Fake life.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough. It starts right away. And fortunately, people are homeschooling more, not vaccinating their kids, which is good.
Thank God.
Yeah, if we removed all these lies and controls, we would be thriving and doing so beautifully and wonderfully. It's like this is a war. I think these beings just have like ultimate revenge. I mean, and it's so hard because religion doesn't really tell these stories. They touch upon them, and I'm not saying that there aren't important teachings in there, but they forgot to truly teach us how to be our full potential. It's this kind of worship, and you're a lowly sinner. We were born with original sin, but the underbelly of a lot of this stuff is where the real crimes are, and they're making us seem like the ones that are screwed up. When it's all a big infection and mind control game to make us feel like we're the ones who screwed up the planet. We're the ones that are sinners. And that's just bullshit. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yo, you're hot. Listen, Laura.
Feel free.
Laura,
You go.
come on now.
How do they say that? You go, girl.
You go, girl. Laura, you know I know you. You can get hot as much as you want. Thomas, ask her that question.
Now you made me screw up and I can't remember it.
What is the original sin?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to find out what it is.
Oh, that Eve or Adam ate the freaking apple. I mean, give me a break, right? Well, okay, so we entered the tree of knowledge as far as what they say, but the tree of knowledge connects to our DNA. So basically, we made the choice of being in duality,
Right.
but it cast upon the sin instead of teaching us self-knowledge. I mean, the thing is that the garden kept, I mean, the Genesis story is blocking millions of years of our galactic history. So put us in a bubble that's original sin. It's like we're not even talking about galactic wars when we're talking about religion. I mean, so the Genesis story has a lot to do with the demiurge and the Anunnaki and how they're blaming us or the woman for that whole apple thing.
You bad women. Yo,
And the serpent, the serpent saying, eat of the apple. And then we somehow betrayed God by choosing knowledge, but that was a lower creator God keeping us from true source because it was a jealous God from what we've come to understand. I don't know. It's all very complex.
it was a killer.
The Bible does say that God is a
It's part of
very
the Bible,
jealous
yes.
God.
So-
Yes.
Okay, so if this God is jealous, oh sorry, Laura, but I gotta ask him the question. If God is jealous, what's he jealous of? Well, you're a creator. You've got all power. What you got to be jealous of?
But there's a truer God source that the Anunnaki have kept us from because they genetically modified us and they tried to keep us from the rest of our history and our true galactic heritage. The lower demiurge God, I mean, the Old Testament to the New Testament is very different. It seemed like the God energy was very different. Like
David.
So the Luciferian philosophy is that they want to overthrow that God.
Right.
But the thing is, they're hurting millions. They're hurting the whole world population. So they feel justified. I mean, it's so complicated. I can't even begin to go there. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out either. So.
Okay. He just asked me a question off the air of which God is the real God. To me, I am a spiritual person. I believe that there is a God on top of all this. You cannot have the complication of if you look, and this is part of the matrix, because if you break your own body down and you look at the DNA and then break that down to an individual molecule, a molecule which has neutrons, electrons, and the electrons are spinning around the neutrons. And all these are huge, but yet our body is contained, but we have electrons that reach out over a mile away to create the human body. So we are a digital, how do you say it, a digital embodiment of a human being, and until you die, that's when life starts.
Do frogs have souls?
Well, there's the whole...
That's a good. I gotta ask the stupidest question, but it's the smartest question.
But I'm not saying that there's any there's not like fake gods. I mean, they have power, they're gods, but we're different. Like the Milky Way galaxy fell away from Andromeda, so the galactic core split apart, and so we're in a bit of a fallen system that has a god. And it doesn't mean that we have to hate that god, but we have to reach beyond it, because the 0-point unified field, where the Trinity of Mother, Father, Child, religion has kind of made it difficult to like understand the role of the feminine energy and all that. So that has been not fully included, and so the Baphomet and the satanic ritual abuse are connected to the Dark Mother reversals that have a lot to do with the inverted pentagram and the imbalance of the masculine and feminine that has led to a patriarchal rulership, and why religion has been male dominated. And so I'm all about balance. I'm not about feminism or women taking over. It's like, can't we all just be balanced and understand that the feminine, birth? So how can we leave that out of the mix? So, but the masculine and feminine need each other. They work together. So the father god became more patriarchal, and the mother energy was only given to the Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene. But there's like Kuan Yin, there's all these other archetypes. And as far as the father god, we have lost connection with the Christ teachings, like the Christ Templars, the Essenes, that were teaching us how to be Christed beings and teaching us how to do soul alchemy. So religion has made it more about we're sinners and we need to worship, whereas the true Christ message and the Essenes were all about how to achieve true enlightenment. So there's just been some, but some of them are using false names because they're imposters. So they'll use the name of God, but it's not the real God. Because, and it's like some dark force behind it using that name. Just like we see with ISIS is connected with terrorism.
Right.
How they're trying to destroy these sacred names. So it's really hard, though, because I think everybody's got their own unique relationship with God, and nobody needs to give that up for anybody else. It's like you have your own relationship with God's source. And I think everybody has their own unique relationship. It's when we try and tell each other what to think and what to believe. The only thing that's dangerous is when it becomes like people battle or fight each other and kill each other in the name of God, or they don't accept other ways and ways to get to God. There's many different paths. So I don't think one way. I just think we need to just allow the diversity and appreciate everybody's uniqueness and their own unique connection with God.
Okay. If you look at the religions in the world, from what you just said, has made a thought run through my head. Now, we have Islam, which is
came out of Christianity,
which is run. No, it's the polar opposite of Christianity.
But it came out
as
of
far as I'm concerned, the Islam is a devil-controlled or a god of light and a sub-god that, not the god, a sub-god that, or fallen angel, however you want to call it. The Bible explains it exactly. It does not. It tells you the truth. You just have to know how to read it and understand what is going on, because you got Buddhism, which will take you spiritually to a oneness with your higher being. You have what I call religion has nothing to do with the Bible. All these religions, all they do is they're just a money generating machine. That's all it is. Now, I'm a spiritual being. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus was really on this earth. He died on the cross. And you cannot take that away from me. I don't care where the conversation goes. I'll talk about everything. I have an open mind. I love to hear about it. I've studied Buddhism. I've studied Islam.
Mithraism.
I've read the books on all that they say that you're supposed to do. And I come to the conclusion that I have to take control of my own spiritual direction and my moral values of how I value life and how I value
being human.
Exactly, is the conversation between me and everybody else. And it is such a good feeling. It's like, to me, it's like a drug. Once you get to that spiritual level, you don't know, it gives you a good feeling. You can feel. I can tell you right now, the intensity in this room is so freaking high right now. I have never done a show that's had this kind of energy behind it. I feel.
Well, I just know that everybody's got their own personal relationship that nobody should interfere with, and if it serves them and it makes I mean, that's the most important thing. So I might, have heard these theories and this is what, it could be or might be. The most important thing is that people find it within, because it's sacred, and nobody should try and put an ego to their spirituality or try and project their beliefs on somebody else. Unless they're causing harm to others and they're fighting, they're fighting in the name of God. I mean, what I believe in is our own unique relationship with the Creator, and we get to define it for ourselves, and that's what spiritual freedom is to me.
Yes.
So your belief and what you hold to be truth is the truth, and I would never argue that. And same with anybody else, but because there's multiple timelines, we have our own past lives in history, we have our own personal journeys that have taught us what works and what doesn't work. So there's facts when it comes to 9/11. So what are the facts? Okay, there's a false flag there.
Yes.
Buddhist spirituality, it's more fluid. I don't think it can be defined as one absolute truth. I think that's a personal and sacred thing that we all need to respect and appreciate amongst each other.
Thank you. Oh my God. Hey, Laura, I'm sorry. You just blew me. Oh, you took me to another level.
Don't apologize
I know,
for
I'm
being
sorry.
taken to another level.
I don't want to ascend that way yet.
I have never had, in all the interviews and all the shows I've done, Laura, I promise you, the energy that I feel right now
You can't
is
sleep.
beyond explanation.
It's hot.
It is absolutely hot. I want to take this to the next level. If you will send me any links, anything that you have that you want to get out to the public, we will post that. We will post it everywhere. Anything I can do to help you or to help me or to help Daryl get to people and just make them create their own spirituality.
For the past 2 weeks, I've been doing a Laura Eisenhower Day, and which I would just play her so that people can hear her. And I do it on Thursdays. I told you I was going to do it, and I do it on Thursdays. Laura Eisenhower Day. Every Thursday, I'm going to make it. It is now. Odin is now talking.
Ow.
Say,
Here we go.
every Thursday.
I know I
is
didn't
now
go, but I will send my website, which has, I have an 8-hour workshop coming up on the weekend of June 6th and 7th. So I'll just send you my website, and it's on my main page.
We want to. Oh,
Yes.
you know something? We would love to be.
Can we broadcast that?
We can. If Laura wants it.
Laura?
It's not on my platform, so but I will. I'll give you the archive when I'm allowed. It's just not on my platform.
Oh, okay.
When Laura,
You guys are so kind to me and so supportive. I so appreciate and love you both.
Laura, you know I love you. And you're my heart. Look. You're my sister. That's my
the
brother.
world goes
this
around.
Is the family.
Exactly.
And this is how we do it. And the only thing I can say to you is that you may be drinking Corona today, so I got my COVID-19 on. And and last but not least, I had to get a giggle there. But on the other side, I have so much love for you, the works, your intention, your wants to help people, your desire to see people awaken on their own scale, on their own time, in their own way.
That's the only way you can awaken people.
Hold on. Is there a way to awaken those that are
Not
of
all,
age,
but
of higher age, at human higher age? Is there a way to awaken them? Because let me tell you, I finally awakened my mother when I showed her the truth, and I told her, well, this church has been, I'm not going to say the name of it, I'm not going to give them no props, has been taking children for centuries and selling them. And we know about the bloodletting. We know about the church.
I did a whole show
Yes, you did.
on children and fake adoptions, and they found 50,000, and I kid you not, 50,000 skeletons up in Canada.
Behind the
From
Catholic Church.
all of them, not one of them over the age of 9.
What do you think they were doing? Draining their blood? Because most likely they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got
Well, they compromise their DNA. I mean, yeah, they compromise their DNA, and that's why they become vampires, and they don't care to heal. And I think a lot of people will awaken, but it has to be more publicized. The fake media and fake news outlets need to go, and through the streaming of just how people get information has to be cleansed and rid of all these liars and all these people that are serving the cabal. Because until then, most people aren't going to want to, question it. It's just. But I don't want to say that as a fixed belief, because I always hold the faith that people will have some breakthrough along the way that will help them turn in the better direction.
It took my mother a long time, Laura, to see the truth about. I mean, yeah, she worked in the CIA. My mother worked in, and all this other stuff. And I say it honestly, it took my mother a long time to just finally say, Daryl, you're right, but I can't say it because this is the way it is.
You're so indoctrinated. It's so hard that when you
can't
do
fight.
see
My mother
the
goes
truth,
to sleep.
You can't. Right.
You when you're really indoctrinated and the information hits you, you start falling asleep. You block it out. You got to pass out.
I went through the day that I did it. I was 42 years old when I truly awakened to see the world the way it truly is, not the way they want you, not the way they portray it to your mind. When you see the truth, I stayed up for 3 days, 3 nights. I could not sleep. When I first awakened, that's why I call it a drug. Because it is a feeling that you get that once you start it, it snowballs from there and becomes very easy to come to you. And in your knowledge level, your workshop that you're going to do, can you just tell us what? Because I'm going to be there. I want to know. I want to hear you talk.
I don't care.
Exactly. I don't care if it costs money, whatever.
It's a sliding scale, so if you get to decide what you want to donate, or you don't even if you want to just come, just come.
That's how you
can count on us being there.
Because I mean, it's not even a joke. I mean, you know something? People out there listening, and I know there's thousands of you, so don't BS me. I already know. Look, I can tell you what state you're in. The bottom line is, I can tell you what country you're in too. Don't you try to jump out of there. I saw that number. All right. The bottom line is this, Laura. The people out there, they fear the unknown, and that's the truth. You know it, and I know it. The world knows that you fear. Everybody fears what they do not know, or they cannot. How can I say it nicely? They cannot adjust.
The truth cannot be said. There is no nice way of saying it. The truth is, it's going to be a shock. No matter who you are, it's going to be.
Oh, yes.
But if you get past that, which is not hard to get past that, once you're past that, then you join a family of people that understand what is going on in the world, so you have the ability to see it for what it is rather than what they want you to see.
I mean, here's an example, okay? Cesar Borgia is the image that everybody bows and worships. And that's the Pope's son back in the day. And he's on a cross. Yeah, Cesar Borgia. You can look him up. Go ahead. Image of Jesus on the cross.
Oh, all right.
It's Cesar Borgia. And that's the Pope's son. So you're bowing to the son of a Pope. You don't have an image of Jesus. So, I mean, people are afraid, oh, no, the world's going to go to hell now. You are damned. Because I told the truth or because you didn't do the research? That's the question. I mean, the people out there do not have, listen, you got the internet for knowledge, but yes, I will say it honestly, and Laura knows it. 80% of that crap is BS. It's bullshit.
Can we let's take a level down for just 1 second because I gotta ask this question.
Okay.
We have the great granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower on my show. I feel so honored that is happening. And I can we go you study American history, correct?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes, I try and it's hard to find like a real source because there's so much that they don't include in the history books. But yes, American history, galactic history, and as many layers beneath it all as I can. I do have to say I have to just go in 5 minutes because I have to take another call. But it's hard to break away from you guys. You're so much fun.
I love you. Oh, we love. Say you love her, man.
I absolutely love her because when you know me, when we get into these deep conversations, I do not play commercials. I do not take breaks. I do not want that feeling stopped for 1 second. I want you to hear everything that we can possibly hear in the time that we're allowed. And I understand you have to go. I would like to throw an invite. I would love for you to come back and we can continue this conversation. Daryl will be flying back and forth between Washington, D.C. and Florida here, so we'll have him down here again with the work that we're building. Yeah. So we are going to open so many people's eyes with the plans that we have, that we are going to work hard to work the system to change and use their own system against them. So we would love to have you back.
I'd love to come back, of course.
We can get hotter so excited. We can have more time and get hotter.
Exactly.
Because I'm just getting started on fire. And this is the way it is. I love Laura because, number one, you're going to hear the truth. You're going to hear what you don't want to hear, and you might get a little bit extra. And it's not like you're going to church because she ain't preaching to you. She's going to gently tell you how it happened, why it happened, and then she's going to conclude it. See, Laura does that fourfold mission, sometimes threefold, but she concludes it with how you can change.
Well, my presentation is going to be all about what our junk DNA is really made of and what we can begin to call back and bring more attention to so that we see, just the antidote within ourselves and amongst each other. And so even though I take people maybe into some uncomfortable places, you should hopefully walk away feeling more empowered and more just aligned with yourself, I hope.
Exactly. When you start, like I said earlier, and you said also, it does sting a little because when you realize how many years that you've lost
to lies,
to the lies, and then you wake up. I know you need to go, so let me ask you this. Okay, on my Facebook page, you can get there from Skype. I have my email address. Anything you would be willing to send us on any project you're working on, we will post it everywhere. All over the world.
I will announce it on radio for you. He will announce it. Everybody announce it. And Gary the Man Martian definitely will because he loves it.
Also, if you want to do a 30-second conversation about your thing coming up, and we will play it on every single show until it happens. We will tell everybody about what you are doing so we can wake people up. So anything you're willing to send me, if you want to, just take your microphone. You can even take your cell phone, do a recording of just explaining where people can go to get this, and kind of like a 20-second inventory list of what you're going to talk about. I will update it. I will play it every half hour on every show that I do.
You don't have to do it. I have no expectations, but I will. That's a great idea, and that's so kind of you, and I really appreciate it. But I sent you my link, and it's right there, where people can find it on the home page. But if I create a little blip, I'll send it to you for sure. I really appreciate it.
We love you, Laura.
Absolutely.
I love you guys a lot.
You're my heart. You're my sister.
And we never did get to the conversation that I was really wanting to get to about family. We got off on to the awakening of the human race, not just America, not just people are all equal.
Right.
I'm colorblind. Thank God he made me colorblind. I don't see color, so everybody to me is the same color. There is no distinction. And like we've said on the last show where we beat everybody in, stop using, German American, Italian American, Black American, Mexican American. Stop putting America second.
Gosh, please
You
stop
are, if you're born in this country, you are an American. There is no, stop using all this crap.
Because they say they're Spanish, they say they're French,
Right.
they say they're Italian, they say they're Russian, they say they're Armenian, they say they're Chinese. I'm sorry, Laura, that's another whole blip. I know you want to get off
All
on.
right, yeah,
Well, it's hard to break away, but yeah, I got a call, but we'll be in touch and we'll do this again. And thank you guys so much for having me. I feel so energized and just.
Hot. You ready to go?
We got people tell yes, they are really enjoying tonight. We got comments on how good you are doing, so we love you. Please come back
and kill the boys high.
Exactly.
And
Mr. Frisbee man too.
All right. Okay, well, much love, you guys. We'll talk real soon. Much love. Have a good night. Thanks so much for having me. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, now that was a great Laura Eisenhower. I don't even know where to go after this because this is hot.
Okay, you know what we're going to do right now before we take another step? I am going to take this link, and I am putting this link, if it'll let me, we are going to post this link on everything. We're going to post it on the homepage. We are going to, all right, copy link. There we go. And I am going to
Katie, post it on GERN.
Enter. You want to understand how to be awakened and go to Laura Eisenhower's workshop. I posted the link. It is up on the Facebook page. We will put it on the YouTube page. We will put it everywhere on God's green earth to help her generate as many people to listen as possible. It doesn't hurt that bad when you wake up. It only takes a day or two to realize that you still have life to look forward to, and you'll find a happiness that you have never experienced, and you'll find a love that you've never experienced to this point, and the energy that it puts out. That's why I keep saying tonight the energy level is knocking the roof off our studio. Our lights are going nuts. We just had one of the best guests that I think I have ever interviewed. It's going to be hard to top that. And we will have Laura back, and we'll continue the conversation, because I don't think this conversation
it can't be over. It can't be over.
It doesn't have an end.
I mean, there's extra powers out there. There are other people out there. If you're out there listening, you want to hop in.
So right now, we're going to pay the bills, because I don't like to pay the bills when I'm talking to guests. I want to give them every second counts. So trust me, every second counts. So let's pay the bills, and then we will go into, you know what? We haven't had a freaky hour for a while, so we're going to go freaky when we come back right after these messages.
At Benzer Pharmacy, we understand busy. That's why all our locations offer free home delivery, personalized service, refill reminders, and specialty medication, even pet meds.
Are you tired of coming home to find out only that you've been robbed? Did your alarm company call you and tell you that you've been robbed and the police will be there in 20 minutes? No one can stop all thieves. But at CK Custom Security Consultants, we can design and install a real CCTV security system that will give you the evidence you need to put them away. Here at CK Custom Security Consultants, we do an on-site engineering assessment where we discuss the pros and cons of the different security systems available that just might suit your needs. This service is free. There are several different financial options available for you, and we look forward to meeting you and assisting you in reaching your security goals. ckcustom.com, where all of your security needs are met. Are you sick of our healthcare system? The lies, constantly putting you on one more drug that isn't covered by your health insurance company? I'm sick of it too. And I found a very old recipe for colloidal silver. It is a liquid solution created using electrolysis to suspend pure metallic elemental silver in groups of particles of 18 atoms or fewer, each with a positive electric charge, attached to a simple protein molecule in distilled water. Some say that the colloidal silver goes back 4,000 years. I found the process that was almost been lost to time. Colloidal silver works just like triple antibiotic ointment. It will keep your cuts clean, and it's an antiviral too. This product could save your life when there's no doctor around, and you can put colloidal silver directly on the wound to keep the infection away. Get yours now at bluecollarpolitics.org. Just click on the BCP store tab and you are on your way to having that doctor in a bottle.
You have been listening to the Blue Collar Politics Radio Talk Show, and I am your host, Thomas Fry, the Biblical Survivalist. We are here to help you understand and survive these modern times where things are turned all around, upside down and downside up. This alternative news talk show is where the truth is told, because there is no pressure on what subjects we decide to talk about. We are part of the Global Enlightenment Radio Network, which is on 24 hours a day for your listening pleasure. Blue Collar Politics is on every Saturday night from 7 to 11 p.m. If you missed the broadcast and you want to go back to catch any previous shows, just go to bluecollarpolitics.org and click on the Listen to BCP tab. And if you like the show, please hit the donate button, because we direct and produce our own shows, and we want to stay on the air for you. So every dollar helps. And if you have a little time, please check out our store where you can get all of your Blue Collar Politics products, like our Doctor in a Bottle, colloidal silver at 18 parts per million guaranteed. Or maybe you just want a t-shirt with our logo on it to show the world you are definitely awake. We hope that you are having a good time listening, and it is time to get back to the show. So here is our host, the biblical survivalist, Thomas Fry.
Jennifer, how are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
Oh, I am so stoked with tonight's show, the way the direction this show is going. The energy level is bouncing off the roof.
I feel power.
Exactly. We need to We want to keep going. I can't end it. And the conversation that you, me, and Daryl, with the 3.5 hours we spent talking about just life in general, was one of the best conversations I've ever had.
Well, hold on. You haven't introduced who she is.
Well, I was getting to that. I was doing the long introduction because I appreciate this diva and her knowledge and the conversation that we had. We have on the phone Jennifer Malik.
Demonologist.
Yes.
Everything. I mean, this woman, she's a reader. She's a spiritualist. She's
Jennifer, you
sister.
could probably do it better than us. Why don't you give us the
tell
quick
us.
lowdown about yourself? Introduce yourself to our public.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Malik. I am now the founder of the Northern Wisconsin Paranormal Society Limited. I am a writer for Supernatural Magazine, The Departed Daily News. I am a psychic medium, empath, starseed, and remote viewer for the Project PSI Institute in Chicago.
Oh my God! You went to Project PSI? Oh my God!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Didn't we went into the missing 411 conversation, and so you have done a seeing that I understand that you have helped find children?
Yes, absolutely. I am a part of the team of remote psychic mediums, remote viewers, and forensic remote viewers. We have, up to date, brought home 126 missing children.
Oh my God.
We have solved 10 cold case murders, and we have safely brought home 5 to 7 people that were dealing with dementia.
Whoa! My aunt has dementia. My aunt has dementia, and listen. I tell you, I fear when they do their walkabouts, as they call them.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. The way it works is, and Daryl, you know Dr. Kennedy, Dr. Chuck Kennedy.
Yes, I do.
He is the man behind Project PSI Institute. He created it.
I just think that is so amazing that you get with other people that has your same ability, and then you have literally saved hundreds of lives, and more important, the love that is generated from that save. My God, that's got to be a good feeling when you see somebody and they direct them and you save their life.
My aunt's location, and I literally, because it was so late at night, I had to walk across the 16th Street Bridge to go into D.C. to look for my aunt, and I was up all night walking, looking around, because you can't drive. You don't want to drive to look for a person that's on foot.
You won't find them.
You won't find them.
All right, I'm a digital forensic expert. Okay, I'm certified. I unfortunately only have 4 cases that I've won, but I just new into this. I've taken on Morgan & Morgan lawyers, all their 400 freaking lawyers, and I kicked every one of their asses. And they didn't. All 4 cases that I'm involved in, I have put. These are people that are harming other people. I have put all of them in jail. That, unfortunately, they've all got the same sentence. It was 3 to 5 years, and one of them was a cop abusing his badge, and I put him in prison and got his license revoked. He can never be a cop again. He can never hurt women. As far as I'm concerned, it was rape. He made a woman do a sexual favor to let her out of a ticket and then arrested her anyway. And he is serving 3 to 5 years, believe it or not, in Florida for a violation of contract. He made a deal with her, a verbal contract, and then he reneged on his end. That is punishable. It is a 3 to 5 year sentence in Florida. And so I understand the feeling. Now, I don't do... you're amazing with what you do and the lives that you save, okay? All I do,
Well, thank you.
I only put criminals in jail. Okay, you do something that is amazing. So, would you like?
Well, this is something that, with the abilities that I have, because I was born with, as they say, the veil. And so I was very gifted growing up. And one of the things I always wanted to do was join an organization, nonprofit of course, that devoted this type of time, energy, and work into bringing missing people home. And it's one of the most amazing feelings ever. And what's great about it is the way it works is Doc has a computer system called the Matrix. Now, when we get cases, we don't talk to each other.
Okay.
So we're not painting each other's stuff. He has our names in the Matrix. He goes, one by one. He'll call us and we get our information, what we hear, and what we feel, and what we see, and we'll give him that information. He will then run it through the computer. He will run it through the computer matrix and look for the commonalities between all of us. He will then be the one to put out contacts to law enforcement and eventually families.
Wow.
So we do this because the reason why he does it is because we need to stay protected.
Yes.
Because some of the kids that we've brought home have been trafficked.
Oh my God, no.
People do not believe that
Yeah.
goes on to this day.
It's still going to continue on because guess what? There's always we're a commodity. We were born as a commodity. Hell, we got a social security number. Oh, I'm sorry. A ID. At birth.
Right.
We're not branded
Right.
yet, but
We might as well be.
Right. Now, look, we trafficking is an epidemic. It goes on every day. It's been going on since as far back as long as we've been here.
yes.
And traffickers, and when I first found this out through Doc, I was completely in shock. Traffickers, on estimate, make a year $500 billion on human trafficking. $500 billion.
Really? Oh my
Really?
God.
Really? I'm not even kidding. Like, not at all.
What? So, how do we stop this?
Is it possible to be stopped?
By making more people aware of it. Getting people to wake up and look around because it's happening everywhere. There is no community across the United States or all over the world that isn't immune to this stuff because it happens all the time. And traffickers, the way traffickers work is the traffickers or / pimps will take some of the younger girls or boys, because it happens to boys too, not just girls. I want to be clear on that, because whenever they hear trafficking, they always think of girls and women. Yeah, but boys are too. And they'll bring some of these younger girls that are working for this pimp / trafficker, and they'll stick them in places like malls, shopping centers, and Walmart, and they will literally look for the person that they think is perfect to traffic. If you have a kid that, say, a good example, a runaway. If you have a kid that's a runaway, or if you see a kid walking around the store and the kid's upset and sad and, the shoulders are slumped over, they look for stuff like that.
Okay. Now I've heard you could probably verify this for me. I've heard that there has been a lot of females, like the age from 14. It'll go away. Give it a minute. From like the age of 14 to 19 that are abducted and then sold to foreign rich men to be forced to be wives for these millionaires that purchase these women.
Yeah, they do that. And a lot of the girls that get picked up here, like traffickers, get shipped off to places like the Middle East or the Philippines. And the reason why none of these people are ever caught when they work with trafficking rings and they're trying to, go after these girls and they're trying to get them out of the country is because they do it by water. They hang around shipping yards because they have shipping containers that they will use when they get these victims, and they will literally shackle them together by the ankles and stick them in these containers until they get to the Philippines.
So I heard that, Mother Teresa's Church of Calcutta was selling children around the world to Ukraine, the little boys, little girls. And this ring, this infection, I call it an infection because I have to. As Odin, I must do it, and I will drink to it every day. It is an infection that needs to be deceased. You need to stop selling children. But guess what? I also heard, as our previous guest on, Miss Laura Eisenhower said, and you know something, you two women, I love you to both. I mean, y'all both, listen, I can't wait till the day that we all just get together, all of us.
These are two of the most powerful divas that we know.
Oh my God. To
thank
have
you.
both of you on a show?
The stuff that you do, and we have both
God.
of you a guest tonight, so this has got to be the greatest blue-collar politics show I've ever
He
had.
is blown up. Listen, you should see Thomas's mouth. He's like, ha. You know what I mean? Ha. I mean,
It has taken my show to another level, and I definitely
He
want to
can't
thank
go
you
backwards.
for coming on and talking to us on the air about some of these
Well,
things.
but Mother Teresa,
I'm glad. I'm very thankful for the invite.
I gotta go. Back to Mother Teresa's church. With all the stuff that I said at Mother Teresa's church, because this pissed me off.
He gets on an idea.
Look, well, you know something? I see the human existence as something that's special. And the problem is that we sell, barter, and trade the children.
And abduct, don't forget they
Abduct as well. And also, we bloodlet the children. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, well of course, right. We talk about bloodletting. You might as well get on touch on adrenochrome because that's another thing these sick people
You remember?
feed off of.
Oh, God.
Let me ask a question.
Seriously, it's like seriously. You bring up that, and so I got to bring up the adrenochrome because they both go hand in hand. So it's not just bloodletting. It's like with trafficking. Okay, what they do to their victims is they'll build them up. So like, oh baby, like I love you, I could promise you like all this money and like the job of your dreams, and all you have to do is come with me. And then a lot of times these girls
We'll go.
They're stupid.
will go because they're so convinced. They're so convinced and they don't realize what they're getting themselves into. And usually what happens is when they get trafficked, whatever houses that they're staying in, they will literally have, I guess they would have in like prostitution homes back in the day. I'm trying to think of the name, madams, who will sit there and manage these girls. They keep an eye on these girls while the pimp/trafficker is out doing his thing. They don't feed these women. They don't give them anything to drink. They cut their hair. They'll dye their hair. They will brand them. And when they say brand them, they will usually, and I'm not kidding this, Dr. Kennedy told me this, and I about cried when he told me this, they will literally take pokers that you would use to brand cattle with and brand these girls.
That's sick. I mean...
And now, so what they're trying to do is keep this under the radar. There's a kind of tattoo out. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's called black light tattoo.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
It's basically a tattoo that's only visible under black light. And what the tattoo basically is a barcode. Ownership.
And there was a TV show, and I'm trying to think of it. It was a bunch of like FBI, DEA. They were all staying in a luxurious house on the ocean, and they were deep undercover officers. And one of the episodes was they were trying to rescue a 14-year-old girl from one of their friends. She was abducted. And when they found her, they found all these girls that were trapped in this building. They could not get out. There was no exit that they could go through. The doors were barred from the outside. They were feeding them, and they had a TV for them and stuff. But then they would line them up, and they would bring in these people that would auction them off to the highest dollar.
Oh my God.
And when I saw that, I imagine it's real. It really happens that way.
I don't want to think that way.
Is that?
Yeah,
I know,
they
but
literally do that. They will literally do that to those girls, and
They
those
do it
boys,
to
they
men,
will sell
too.
them like cattle, and it's disgusting.
And they
It's
do
very,
it
very
to men.
horrifying.
But-
And they'll have these girls so brainwashed and so convinced. Like, if these girls try to leave, they will literally threaten to go after their families.
But Jennifer, they
So
do
they
this
could
to
say-
boys as well. I mean, they do it to a human. That's slavery. That's slavery.
Of course,
That's
it is human slavery. That's exactly what trafficking is. It is straight up slavery. And it's like, okay, another way, people may not be aware that, they're smuggling girls and boys out of the country or into the country left and right. Tunnel systems.
And
But doesn't that go back to when they called the Shanghai thing, where they had the trap door and they
Yes.
someone would
Yeah.
walk into a bar, they'd give them and next thing they know they're under the building, and then they would
There's a
take
whole
these people
apartment.
out on the ship,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let them see anything till they were 50 miles offshore,
Yeah.
so they ain't swimming back, and they call it Shanghai, right?
Yeah, they call it Shanghai. Now, it's like, okay, when you talk about websites, if you go to well-known sites, and this is another thing people may or may not be aware of, Craigslist.
Are you
They have a
serious?
section on there where girls are offered.
Are you serious?
I am
I mean,
serious.
listen.
I
got-
am serious.
I got-
Pictures and all. And
Oh my
there is another website. I don't know if it's I don't think it's up anymore. I really hope not. But the president, our current president, took this website down. It was called Backpage.com.
I heard that.
Backpage.com was one of the main sites around the world that people had access to trafficking people through the website. People were buying and selling them like cattle. And the people at Backpage knew about this and lied and tried to cover it up. Backpage, I think to my knowledge, last time I checked, was shut down.
I just took your advice. I punched in Craigslist girls for sale, and a page popped
Oh my
up called a
God.
one night friend, where it is live as we are speaking, where you can buy a female for the night on
Yes,
Craigslist.
that's what they do. That's what they do on that site.
I mean, this is sick, Jennifer. I mean, is the world so bad you got to go out and? I mean, I don't understand. I don't want to get into it because I got a daughter. Okay, I'll let people know
I know
out
you
there.
do.
And,
I know you do.
And boy, try me.
You know what?
It's like, okay, mhm.
I just did another one, and I'm finding this is disgusting, but I am finding you could just type in a few words on a damn Google line, and you can buy
And you
females.
can find it. You can find it. Right, okay. Here's another one. There's a documentary. If you really want to see how bad it is around here, because you'll notice how mainstream media never covers any of this.
No, it doesn't. And we were just talking about this. Why can't truth
Okay.
speakers talk
Not
on
at all.
mainstream?
And
Why
it's because
can't
there are some of these people that are connected to mainstream media
Rupert
that do that
Murdoch?
disgusting thing that we're talking about.
Rupert Murdoch? Hint, hint.
Mhm.
Okay, Vice has a show that says "Children for Sale: The Trafficking Ring and Selling Babies from."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another eye-opening one. If you want to see some stuff that will just shift your paradigm, another good one, you can go on YouTube and look for something called "I Am Jane Doe."
Oh, I
all
watched
about
I
that.
watched that movie.
I
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are posting right now. The site that we are talking about is in is on our Facebook page. That it is a Vice. It's on YouTube, and Vice does some awesome in-depth.
Yes, they do.
They risk their lives to get videos to bring you how. I watched one last night on a cocaine trafficking ring where they make all the. Or no, it was fuel. Sorry, not cocaine. It was gas.
It was gas,
and they were hauling gas in the back. They're smuggling it out of Venezuela to sell it, and all that stuff going on, and the Vice was in there with cameras, and they got the crap beat out of them, and their cameras broke, and they were able to save the tape. They showed it up to that point. They got new cameras, and they went right back in to get it filmed. Vice shows you the truth, unadulterated, not covered up, and it'll make you just lean back in the chair and go, "Oh my God. This stuff is going on in this world today."
I mean, it's kind of scary, Jennifer.
Unfortunately, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. I could do a post about my late husband passing away. I'll get like 500 likes from it.
God
okay?
bless him.
If I post something about trafficking, I'm lucky if I get one like.
But if you post,
I've also had times where I've had people inbox me and verbally attempt to rip me a new one. Because I'm sitting there talking about this stuff.
Hold on, whoa, back up. Somebody's trying to rip you a new one?
These people, this was honestly a normal thing for me whenever I touch on trafficking. Anything with trafficking awareness. I will always, without fail, get maybe one or two people that I've had to tell off.
Well, hold on.
Then as soon as I tell them to where to go look for the information and then come back, if you think your opinion changed, and they do, and 9 out of 10 times they will come back and apologize to me.
Okay, because I'm not going to let nobody rip none of my family apart. Nobody in my family. Girls for Sale, a movie. Stop.
No, wait a minute, dude. This is actual Girls for Sale on Amazon.com.
You got me sick, man.
Yeah. Politicians are into it. Celebrities are into it. Everybody's into it. Everybody's into it. Everybody.
Jennifer, it's not like I want to hide from it. It's not like I want to. I know it's there, but listen. Like I said, I got a daughter. Okay, I got boys, and
I know you do.
And it scares me, but yet, like I tell anyone, I'll lay the hammer down in 3 seconds. I don't care. I'll make some hamburgers. But the bottom line is, you mess with my kids, you know what? You mess with my family. Period.
Right. And I totally get that. And I know people are scared of it. People don't want to accept that, because if people were to literally take the time to research it even a little bit, it would force them to go out of their comfort zone, and they're not ready for that.
And
it's dangerous because we live in a society now where your kids aren't safe walking around the streets anymore. It's like, okay, where I used to live in Rhinelander, the Walmart up there is known for having traffickers, because there's people constantly being trafficked out of that place, but you're not going to hear about it. Local news wouldn't even cover it.
Right. Well, in this time that we've been talking, 5 minutes we've been talking about this, I've been doing, as you're talking, I've been doing some searching on, and it is absolutely, it will blow you back in your chair how easy it is to find underage children for sale on the internet. I didn't even realize this was even there until you started talking about it. And then when I search on it, oh my God, it is, there's not just one site. It is hundreds, maybe thousands of websites that say they're selling children.
Pedophilia is what it's called.
Yep.
And it's making me sick, because I cannot believe this stuff. I mean, listen to this. We even got Richard Hoagland saying, oh, watching porno is okay. Now, if you decide to download a porno, who were talking in relation to, it was on Jimmy Church show, in relation to children being downloaded, I'm like, hold on, no. Richard C. Hoagland, you are a fucked up motherfucker, because we don't do
Yeah.
that with children. They're innocent.
Yeah.
They're their only chance at
No comfort.
society. They're their only chance at
Right.
life. I don't care what your
Right.
belief is. I don't care what your ideology is. I don't care how you think. I don't care what you believe. Sorry. Hoagland, Gary the Mad Martian is right. I should have laid a hammer down on you a long time ago.
On who?
Richard C. Hoagland.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you know what though, and this is my point, and I tell people this all the time. When I post things about human trafficking awareness, I'm not trying to terrify or scare anybody. I want people
It's
to
awareness.
wake up and realize that it's there. I'm not trying to force this stuff on anybody. That's not the type of person I am.
Why is it that children, or why is it that awakened people are forced,
Feared.
feared? Why are, okay, I didn't understand the question you
Yeah.
were trying to ask. Why is it that awakened people are feared? Like yourself, myself,
Awakened people are feared by, people that are not awake because of what we know.
That's
If you
three
think
quarters
about all
of
the stuff that we know, and we could tell these people, that would force them to shift their perspective, move out of their comfort zone, and accept it. There is so much going on that people like all of us are talking about. You have people that aren't sure about it. You have people that don't believe it, or you have people that are afraid to embrace it.
right.
And the reason why they fear awake people like us is because we don't back down.
Mm-hmm.
We're very passionate people.
Yes.
And when we believe in something, and when we know something is true and that people are being corrupted in society in general, we have no problem letting people that are not awake know.
I actually fear for the family members I have that are not awake, and it is so difficult to watch them go through life and tell me, oh, well, that's just in the news, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my God, open your eyes. This is happening all around you on an everyday basis to the point of it's everywhere. I mean, it took me all of 3 seconds to find hundreds, maybe
Right.
thousands of sites that say they got underage children for sale.
Jennifer,
Right.
I got another side of it. Because, that hurts. But, you know something? People forget. Slavery began in the beginning. When
It's still
Constantine
going on.
it hasn't changed. But it began in the beginning when it came for our culture today. When Constantine gave the order to the creation of the Roman Catholic Church, and which later split to the
Right.
Church of the East and the West, because it was the Church of the East, am I right? No, Church of the West that went to Africa. The Church of the East went through the Ukraine region. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line is this.
Doesn't Ukraine
begins-
have? I heard a story.
There's a lot of sex
No,
trade.
no, I'm
Poland.
just, it was in Ukraine where they have
You
just
can buy it
houses
any
and
day.
just lining streets.
You got money? Buy it. Oh, God.
I know it. You know what? This and y'all may think I'm crazy,
Oh, my
but
God.
I think the tidal wave that hit from that 9.5 earthquake over in Thailand is one of the worst child trafficking country in the world. They have a sex tourism for underage children, and thousands of people died from, what was it, 250,000
Yes,
died from that
yes.
wave. And I'm a spiritual being. I'm not religious. I do believe
Yeah.
there is a God, and
Well,
I believe that when you do things wrong, you get punished. And all the
Oh,
countries
totally.
that got
And it's like my late husband used to say, and Daryl remembers this phrase too. My late husband used to say this all the time, and I still say it to this day. We are spiritual beings having a human existence.
Amen to that. And
Amen.
he proved it right.
hoorah.
But guess, hoorah, brother. And you know something? I got to say it, Jennifer. There's so many things that Kevin, he was so right on.
I know he was.
And,
I know.
and people sit there now today are saying he was right. He was on track. He gave us the yellow brick road, and all we had to do was walk it. And I'm not gonna be the one to. Look, I challenge you. I'm not gonna be the one to break first. But the bottom line is that his words were true, and everybody out there cannot argue it.
Now, unfortunately, it's all right, brother. It's all right.
I messed up, man.
I did not have the fortune to be able to hear any of those words. Is there videos or anything where you got archives? Because
Daryl's got archives. He's got access to archives where you can hear him.
I want to go back and hear him because I know how much love you have for him. I can see it in the studio right now. And if you have a love for someone that great, that when they talk, they speak the truth from, we're all doing the same thing. We are like-minded people that are trying to, as we were talking earlier, you have to gently awaken people. And where my fear is the ones that you cannot do. Because I don't know what's beyond death, but I know that it's only the beginning. Okay, so there is a whole nother existence that we're going to be going through after we die and our conscious goes on to the next level. I don't know where that is, but I do believe that you are awake and experiencing it and going on. I'm sorry, I lost my question in the middle of what I was talking. Back on to him. I'm sorry.
Jennifer, since he lost his question,
oh my God,
I have because
sorry.
When your point's right, you're 100% correct. Jennifer, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you an honest question, and this is a question I never asked. Why in the world do people out here in this society? Why did they choose? I'm going to say it because everybody has a choice. Why do they choose to go the opposite direction? Why do they choose to say, I'd rather just be blind to it so that I can live a good life? Or why do they choose to not believe that there is a spiritual side to our life force, a spiritual side to our being? Why do they still want to sit there and believe that this is all it is? It doesn't make sense anymore. And even to the point where you go to the area where I would say magic. Remember, King Solomon had powers over upper and the lower.
Well, I think to answer your question, and I go back to when, your last guest was on, before I came on, she said it perfectly. People are so programmed and conditioned. We were born this way.
But we were Christians. Okay? Listen, people are supposed to be Christians.
Yes, we have free will. A lot of us that are awake choose to use that free will to stay awake.
But the Bible gives you magic. It gives you magic sets. Lots of sets.
I know.
Lots of magic. I mean, talking about spells are in the Bible. They don't. But guess what? They don't give you.
They even talk about necromancy in the Bible.
Yes.
I have studied. I spent 10 years, and I went over every single verse that I could find in the Bible and the 40 books that are supposed to be in the Bible that were taken out.
They will be taken out.
And, well, no, they've already taken them out, but I've read every single one of them, and it speaks to an existence that is spiritual, not religious. Religion is a money-making machine, a non-profit organization to collect money out of your pocket to give
government.
You a
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's a false.
I mean, if you think about, that question and the answer, you think about, I'm going to go back to free will again. Okay. You have a government where we're basically supplied with everything. They want to keep a lot of people asleep and as dumbed down as humanly possible. And to do this, they will give them whatever it is they want and they need. And when you have this kind of a structure, those people don't feel the need to want to shift their paradigm and to wake up. and to use their free will.
That's socialism.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
It doesn't work.
You can't.
It doesn't work.
No. And then another big part of it too is ego. Human ego.
Oh my God, that is the hardest wall to break down. I talk to my friends all the time. I was just on the phone with a friend of mine that it was injured and forced to retire from driving trucks. And I've been working on him for about 15 years to break that ego down and to break those walls down so he can see the existence that he is really living in. And it is, once you turn off the TV, it starts.
Hold on.
Exactly.
You're trying to say,
Exactly.
now it goes back to my question that I asked Laura. Why is it that a person like you cannot be on Good Morning America? Hold on. Why is a person like you, they cannot have a slot on CNN? Why is it there's a person like you that can have a daytime television show? Why is it? I mean, I want to know the truth.
Because I'm awake, and I'm not going to conform to what they want.
Hoorah.
And I refuse to. And even if I had the opportunity to, I wouldn't.
Well, wait a minute. Before you say that completely, we are drawing up the plans. We are working to build the first Global Enlightenment Radio Network TV studio, where we will take the first show that's going on, and it is Blue Collar Politics. We are going to do an hour show that would be on public access TV all the way up and down the East Coast. I already have the permits for it. All we need is the studio to project it, because if we use their studio, then they have the bleep button. If we have our studio, I took a hammer to that fucking thing. There is no bleep button. There ain't no bleep. Yeah, there ain't no bleeping nothing.
Can I ask you a question? Why is there a bleep?
Because anything that you would say that might awaken someone, they don't want you to allow. They don't want them to be able to hear it.
You mean those tender ears that don't want to hear
Yeah.
the truth? Like,
Right.
like to have a baby, you had to what? Have sex?
What is you with the sex thing?
I'm sorry, I was watching anime. Boobies.
What's you'll have to excuse Odin here. He's kind of I do have a subscription to Funimation. It is one of the most awesome sites. It's the only TV I get because it's not programmed. And I took about 4 years ago, I took a single commercial, a generic commercial off TV, and I broke it down on a video machine and pulled the subliminal messages out of it to prove to people that TV is nothing but they're telling you what to do behind the screen. It's subliminal. Your subconscious can read it, but your conscious mind cannot read it. And a woke person has broken the wall down between the subconscious and the conscious, and you are aware of everything that is going on. And you don't fall for the stupid ass tricks that they've been playing since TV was invented.
Shoot. Go back further.
Right, okay, and here's another thing I want to point out about smart appliances. And there are people out here that know this, and maybe there are people out here that don't know
I
smart
have to give him a high
appliances.
five on that one, because you guess what? I was going to go to smart appliances too.
You get these super smart TVs, even your microwaves, okay? You have things like Siri and Alexa.
Oh, they're on refrigerators now. They got
They're-
built-in tablets.
Right. The point of smart appliances are so you can be monitored in your home 24/7.
Even on your phone.
The Samsung
And on your
TV
phone. You can go to a place and completely have your location shut off, and you get home, like, say, McDonald's, for instance. You get home, check your email, and all of a sudden there's an algorithm for McDonald's.
Jennifer, while we are talking to you, Odin just showed me his phone, and someone has jumped in and I'm trying to think of the word for it. They have broken into his phone, and it is showing a different name as the owner of the phone now. It is not showing Odin's name on the freaking phone. Turn that shit off because
Okay. Turn the phone off. They do that. They do that. Now they have it to where, because I have the phone number that I have was the phone number that me and Kevin shared. Okay? I've had times recently where my own number has called me.
Ho.
Your own number
Hold on.
called you?
That's scary now, because guess
Yeah.
what? That could be paranormal,
Yeah.
or it could be...
No, it's not paranormal. It's not paranormal. It's totally automated.
No, but hold on now. We have experienced the paranormal in that region, too, now.
Yes.
But it
Yeah,
could be
okay.
government.
There is some paranormal to that, yes. Well, but I'm getting calls from certain, when I'm getting calls from my own phone number and I answer calls and it's like AI speaking, that is not paranormal.
No, that ain't no paranormal.
Now, going back to your smart appliances, I did a 3-hour show on Samsung TVs.
Yes, you did.
How the government can turn on the microphone and the camera without the indicator light on, built into every smart TV can do it. But Samsung was the first one that put in the back door. They can turn on the microphone, they can turn on the camera, and watch you in your own living room watching TV. Yeah. When I found that out, I have not